I love a buttered biscuit.
Dropped a grumpy, pardon the term, onto the bed.
Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you might be. I hope everybody's doing well today. I'm hoping that my wonderful co-host shows up here at some point. She's probably pretty busy right now. So it's good to see all of you fine folks that are out there in the YouTube land. And I hope that you're having a good day. I've had a wonderful day so far. Throat's a little dry, but that happens. So it's as we were watching, what was it last night? Yeah, time goes flying by in the weirdest possible ways. I've got I've got my stream set up here where I should be able to be streaming over on Jessica. So those of you that might be over there hanging out, chilling out on Jessica's, just know that she's good. Hey, waifu, how you doing? You know how to get in here. You know how to come in if you want to. You're welcome to come in and hang out. It's pretty chill. We're just watching the Depp stuff, and you've got access. You'll see. But yeah, we've got just started getting supper started. I hope y'all are doing well tonight. Absolutely, Sage. We're doing wonderful, great. Well, hey, after you're done, come by. We'll both be happy to have you on. It's good stuff. And yes, it is my anniversary. Not exactly, wedding anniversary kind of thing, but it's my anniversary for being on the tubes. And a better way to celebrate it with than what really got me interested in the first place. It's pretty weird, isn't it? Hey, one anniversary. My 1 year of being on the tubes of streaming. It's pretty cool. That's pretty darn cool. Yes, I did this a while back. Hey, Rabbit. A wonderful rabbit. You have no idea how great of a person that rabbit is. She's awesome. So let's see, we're gonna remove that and bring this up here. All right. Pretty sure this is what we're at. Yes, it's got to be. I'm hoping. And present, share screen. There it is. Full screen. Nice. Cool. Add that to the stage. That's nice right there. I like that. So this is where we're at for the moment. We will update this as people come in. Yeah, so 1 year on the tubes. It's been good. I think everybody's been pretty awesome with all of this, so I'm just, where is it? Nope. Weird screen. So wondering if that takes care of this here. Yep, it does. Man, it's wild stuff. I've got man, some of the stuff that's in here is hilarious. But yeah, this is where we're at. We're on day 6 of the Johnny Depp stuff. It's not bad. Glad to be here. My Green Monster got me Monday, so saw you were streaming, but you know how it goes. Yeah, I'm glad that you're feeling much better. Traveling Fools, how are you, fine sir? Glad to see you here. And if you're over on Jess's, then you know, I can't see her. I can't really tell which chat is which. So if you're on Jess's, she will be in here at some point. So no, don't you stress. She's probably really busy. Just in case. Just in case she's not noticing that she may be doing dinner or lunch or something. So that's good. I've got the music in my soul. Yeah, Traveling Fools is pretty awesome. Yeah, so cover the LNC. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that, Rabbit. I appreciate you. There we go. And comments. There we go. Rabbit's awesome. She's got my back. Yeah, just guys don't know how often she saves me from self-destruction. Let's see, where is it? Okay. I don't know why I was mentioning that. Oh, nice. Nice. Oh, funny. Just checking out very cool stuff. Hey, how you doing? Dugan Ozdemir. I don't know. I can't pronounce that. I'm really bad at that. Really bad at pronouncing certain things. It looks like Dugaton Odemeyer. Odemeyer. I could be wrong. Anyhow, well, we'll get on with this right here, and of course Jess will jump in here whenever she gets rolling in. So let's make sure we don't have it muted, and there we go.
Stuck, and it stayed, well, until this day. What I believe the monster was in Ms. Heard's mind was her intense,
his belief about what monster meant in Miss Heard's mind is not relevant to the foundation.
Let me ask a different question.
Mhm.
Objection. Go ahead. When you use the term monster, what were you referring to in your conversations with Ms. Heard?
When I used the term
Hello.
monster with Ms. Heard.
Hello.
So, is it working?
Huh?
My mic working?
Yeah, your mic's working. You're doing just fine.
It's so annoying. I hate it.
What, your mic?
Yes,
What's wrong with it?
because it wasn't working. It kept doing the robot shit.
Oh,
So now, before I get into the room, I can tell when it's doing the robot thing because the green bar goes like all the way up.
So good day today.
Yeah. It's been a easy flowing.
Easy flowing day. Yeah, you said you were helping your mom with some stuff, and you missed my stream earlier.
I did. She was applying for a job, so.
Well,
And then I folded laundry, and now here I am.
just chilling, doing homework. A full day for you.
Oh yeah.
Very full day. Yeah, Wi-Fi is hanging out in the chat. I told her she can come in anytime she wants to. She knows how to find us.
Yep.
She has the access. Very cool. Very cool. All right. Well, I'll get on with this for a little while. And I'm sure we're going to have a lot more people come rolling in.
Yeah.
I was amazed going back and watching that with the way that all the drama had gone down, in the law tube thing, and how
I don't watch
fast. Oh, you didn't?
it. No.
Well, how fast Nick because I did my I was finishing out the build that I started yesterday, and I had pulled up Nick's stream about all the drama stuff that was going on and how fast he went through that. Was just like, you know, I'm not calling anybody out. I'm just saying, you know, this is whenever you have a leader or somebody that is running the show or somebody,
Right.
you know, then it becomes this like other entity or other thing that you may not have intended. I was like, oh man, I understand now.
Yep.
I see it everywhere else. These little like cliques and communities that show up instead of just, you know, come hang out, be cool to each other. Nobody's in charge. Let it be organic. Be in charge of yourself. I love it. Love it. Makes so much more sense. So good thoughts. Good thoughts. All right, I'll get back to playing it.
Placating. If she had referred to me as being a monster, there was no way that I was going to sit there and go through a 45-minute argument about, you know, you're a monster. No, I'm not. You're a monster. No, I'm not. You're a monster. No, I'm not. It was an impossibility. So what do? You accept her vernacular. You accept what the word that she uses, and then you use that word to placate her, so that it would at least calm part of the aggression. It would lessen the attacks. You know. So explaining the monster was for me. I mean, she had told me many times that the monster was only me when I was using drugs and alcohol.
Man,
but even when I was stone cold sober off of alcohol and substances aside from my meds, the term the monster was still there. When she accused me of being high on cocaine or you know, drinking like a, you know, some sort of drinking like I was a, you know, some kind of 19th century
Hi,
sailor.
Sage Warrior.
It's that was the word she clung to describe.
Aw.
But it was in her mind, not mine.
How did your relationship with Ms. Heard affect your substance use?
Well, for example, when we were on the road, you know, when you're traveling from, if you're on a press tour, or if you're making a film and you're staying in hotels or this or that, I would always have to get a different, or we would always have to book an extra room that I was able to escape to, so I didn't have to lock myself in another bathroom. It breaks you down. The constant haranguing breaks you down. And, you know, there's a part of you that says, listen, if I'm to be accused of this, might as well just do it. But it never exceeded, it never, my substance abuse or use, the alcohol that I used or drank was, again,
oh,
purely,
she's furious now.
it's that little boy
Got her pen out.
who didn't want to hear or didn't want to feel the pain of his
She's probably
mother
drawing
turning him into
dicks.
some kind of
She is.
ball of insecurity
It's
and
going, well,
pain.
this one's
So,
too small. This one's
yes,
too small. This one's
I
too
was more
small.
inspired by Miss Heard to reach out for a numbing agent because of the constant
See, the reason she's writing,
clashes,
so it
because
looks
of
like
the-
she's judging
There
him.
wasn't, I mean, maybe a few days here and there, but there wasn't a day.
That's what
you'd
she's
wake up
doing.
and you'd expect something was going to hit the fan.
She's
and
writing everything down so she
pretty
can
much
hand
like
it
clockwork,
to
it did.
Elaine. Say, Elaine, these are
So,
all
yes,
the things that are not true.
I had to have something to
Or
distance
like
me
she's
Yeah.
writing it to make him feel insecure,
distance
which
my-
is another manipulation tactic.
heart
There we go.
from those verbal.
No, I honestly
attack.
think
I
she's
had to have something
listening to what he says, and she's coming
be
up
able
with
to
ideas
maintain
for
me,
Elaine
I'm
to
afraid,
use.
for a while because of placation.
Probably.
Because I didn't
Wouldn't
want
doubt
to
it.
rock the boat, as it were.
Yeah.
I'm sure
Didn't
her
think about
lawyers would have been better
So,
if she
placation seemed,
wasn't so
the best
heavy
route, 'cause I
on
was
wanting
unable
to be in control of
escape
how
her
the trial
clutches.
went.
Yeah.
How, if at all, did Miss Heard try to support you in abstaining from the drugs and alcohol as she requested?
Just the amount that she was
Well, I mean, verbally,
evil.
and she had been quite clear verbally and pretty bullish and brutish about wanting me to, telling me that I needed to stop drinking. But drinking was basically drinking wine with her. And
Joe Khan says the courtroom volume is a bit
presume,
low.
I suppose, maybe from you.
Nothing I
don't
can
know,
do
but
about it.
I've always had.
I don't have any control
pretty
over
high
the
tolerance
courtroom
for
volume.
alcohol, for especially
I don't
since
think-
it
No,
was,
Joe Khan, I don't know if you've
pretty
watched
tolerant
any of
for
the court
alcohol,
trials, but
substances,
court
things of that
audio
nature,
is
but
usually trash.
there was no. I had no. I've worked with therapists, drug counselors, who have actually said the words to me because I wanted to know. I wanted to know. Am I an alcoholic? Am I an alcoholic? Or is this just the same thing that I did as a kid when I took my mom's nerve pill? Do I have a drinking problem? And it essentially came down to this. Do you have a drinking problem, Johnny?
Objection, calls for hearsay. What the doctors told him.
I'm not sure he's saying what the doctors told him.
I think that's what's about to be testified to.
Oh, if you can make that clear, I guess.
Let me ask you a
You
different
can make that
question.
clear, I guess.
Let's let him object to another one.
Yeah,
How often would
I
Miss Heard drink in
guess.
your presence
I
while you
guess.
were in a relationship?
Always. Well, yeah.
Oh, actually, I do
Miss
have
Heard
something
drank,
maybe.
she
I'm
took a
going to
shine
change
a
my
very nice
headline
Spanish
from
wine called
I'm
Lady
just
Cecilia.
existing to,
She
I
and all her friends
guess.
did. Yeah, the wine
Yes.
would come out, and Miss Heard could very easily drink 2 bottles of wine per night. But not a problem.
2
What
bottles
I
of
found
wine a
strange was when I
night.
Yeah,
did
That's
That's
too
insane.
much.
get sober from the I was off the opiates that I had been addicted to prior to a year or so before, a couple years
Johnny,
before.
back away from the mic.
She asked me if I would stop drinking to save the relationship, of course.
I need to
I
ask
stopped drinking,
MD or MG
and
or Farrell to send me the
I always found it odd that
soundbite they made of me telling the witness to stop deep throating the mic.
Oh God. Yes. Give me just a second. Oh no, that's an old one. Let's see if I've got the one here. Thought I did. No, that's not it. That's not it. I was looking to see somebody had sent me a clip that you did. No.
Of
No.
course. There's a lot
Oh.
of clippable moments when I'm on stream.
Yeah, there always.
I'm just used to it.
I'm looking for a. Let's see. What is that thing called over here? Because I have volume master.
Okay, I'll just say it IRL. Stop deep throating the mic, Johnny.
That's awesome. Where is it? Oh, here it is. Stop deep throating the mic there, Johnny. I'm downloading it right now to see if I can get this extension working.
Oh.
Oh yeah. it may not let me do it. We'll find out.
Abomination over on Rumble goes, I could go for 2 bottles. Then he's like, save it till you get home, Johnny.
Hey, Abomination. I got Abomination over here too. Come on. Where is it? Volume booster, sound booster. Let me see if that works. Download for free. Add to Brave. See if this works. Extension. That one close, that one close. And where is it? It should be here. Why is it not showing the extension? I'm not seeing it. Maybe. Here we go. Volume booster. We'll pin that up here. Aha. Let's see if this works.
In support of me not drinking, that she might stop drinking.
It's not helping.
But she did not. She continued.
Got
And
it.
I didn't make a big deal about it.
500%. Nothing.
I would open her wine. I would pour her a glass. And that went on for many, many months, in my sobriety. Like I said, I think I was sober for around 18 months. Then there was a time when I was asked to, and I'd been off of alcohol, I'd been off of drugs, everything, except for the medication that I'm prescribed. I had to go to London to give a Lifetime Achievement Award to a dear old friend who was an elderly man, great actor called, his name Christopher Lee, and he was a dear friend. And I was surprised, he was being surprised by my showing up on stage. I just flown in from the States, and he was surprised by me arriving to give him this award. And Christopher came up and accepted the award. And we walked, they brought us backstage to this beautiful library where I was with Christopher and his wife, and the waiter came up and had 3 glasses of champagne. And Christopher handed one to his wife, he handed one to me, and then he had the other. And there was a photographer there. And the glass came up to toast. And I just, in my head, I thought, it's just champagne, a little bit tink to toast Christopher and his Lifetime Achievement Award. And so I'd had half a glass of champagne with Christopher Lee and his wife. After that, immediately after that award ceremony, I went to pick up Miss Heard and take her to dinner at a restaurant. And I told her that I'd had a half a glass of champagne with Christopher. And I thought, listen, it's not like, you're sitting in a pub guzzling pints of snake bites or Guinness or doing shots of Jägermeister, or it wasn't even, at that point, it wasn't even for need to bury feelings or emotions. It was literally a joyous occasion for Christopher. And I said to her, I enjoyed it. It gave me the opportunity to enjoy the actual champagne, the drink, and my appreciation for wine and winemaking, and that I've been fascinated with for years and years. And I saw nothing wrong.
I'm more into the wine drinking than the actual making.
And she was sitting there with a glass of wine. And
Yeah, it's easier to drink it than
we were
make
in a
it.
restaurant, and she absolutely
Yeah,
loved
you
it
can
and
drink
got up
a bottle
and
that
to the
took
ladies' room.
a long time to
And I told my security
sit
driver, I said, I think we have to go.
in a
I'm
night.
going to have to leave. So we left the restaurant and went home. And the mere suggestion of me sipping a glass of champagne or having 1 glass or 2 glasses of wine, she went apoplectic. It was, I was weak. I was a complete mess. I was an alcoholic. I was going to ruin everything.
Rules for thee,
your
but not
kids,
for
your kids are
me.
not proud of you. They
Right.
can't stand what you're doing to yourself. So at that point, I said to her, okay, listen, how about this? You want to support me not drinking? I've never asked you this before. How about you stop drinking? How about you get sobriety and share this sobriety with me to support me and help me through this?
What did she say to that?
No.
Of course she
No.
said no.
She said no. She said she didn't have a problem.
'Cause she's Little Miss Perfect.
I've
Of
never had a
course.
physical addiction to alcohol. I don't.
So
How often have
So
you seen Ms. Heard
annoying.
use other illicit
I
drugs?
hate her face.
Yeah.
Several times.
And what drugs were those?
Well, she was always quite fond of MDMA, which is
so
ecstasy.
crazy.
And mushrooms. And she had some medications that she was on already that were, well, one in particular was quite a high velocity speed, if you will. Called, I don't know if I can say the name. Am I allowed to say the name? Doesn't matter.
That's not necessary. How often did you see Ms. Heard take MDMA?
I
Don't know.
Often enough.
a dozen times, 20 times.
As many times as she
During the
could.
course of the years, during the course of the years.
And what about mushrooms?
Mushrooms a little less. Mushrooms probably 6, 7 times.
Mr. Depp, do you recall at the beginning of her opening, Ms. Heard's counsel mentioned that
Oh,
the
yeah,
first
here
time
we
you
go.
supposedly struck Ms. Heard was in response to a comment about one of your tattoos?
Yes.
I got volume
And what
now.
is your response to that?
See, Eric Stone, I appreciate you watching my channel,
It didn't-
but it's
it
comments
didn't
like
happen.
this that
I-
make me not want to
I've never
turn on
struck
my
Ms. Heard.
camera.
As I said yesterday,
Yep.
I've never struck Ms. Heard. I've never struck a woman in my life. I'm certainly not going to strike a woman if she decides to make
Yeah.
another tattoo that I have on my
Yep.
body. That's like
Mm-hmm.
He was awesome on
going
the
into
stand.
someone's journal,
Yeah, it
and
was.
picking out things you don't like. She had made mention. There was no incident of argument when the tattoo thing had been brought up many times, and I mean, there's really nothing I can do. I've always thought of my body as a journal, if you will, to mark experiences, to mark life experiences. You know, for example, when my first child was born, I had her name tattooed over my heart.
Aw.
Her little head used to be when I rock her to sleep. I marked my boy's birth by tattooing myself for him. So no one can go back, or no one should go back and rewrite their journals. Why would I take such great offense to someone making fun of a tattoo on my body? That allegation never made any sense to me whatsoever.
Are there any tattoos that you had that Ms. Heard had an issue with, to your understanding?
Well, a tattoo that I believe is up here, which used to say Winona Forever, who was a former girlfriend, and we'd been together for a few years. Winona Ryder, and when we broke up, how do you fix that? I did go back and rewrite my journal to some degree. I took off the last 2 letters and had it say Wino Forever, just because I thought it was
Funny.
Again, through pain comes humor. Humor has to come in there at some point into the pain, and that's how you play it out in your mind. So I have, I think sometimes abstractly, in that sense, so I changed it to Wino Forever. Any other tattoos?
So did you hear what Baker said about you today? Jess?
Well, she was very encouraging in me getting a tattoo of her name or whatever, and I waited a while, and then I did it. I got a full tattoo of her, and it ironically wasn't long after that the
That's true. That's
everything
so
started going
true.
sideways. I was doing anything I could to bring a smile to her face, as opposed to the frown and then
Oh,
the
that's funny.
onslaught of
That's
whatever
good.
um, whatever problems she was seeing or experiencing. I, 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 I would try to wake her up with laughter. Singing stupid songs in her ear while she. I generally just tried to keep bringing her mood up. Sometimes it worked, many times it didn't. But I tried, and I wanted to try because, as I said, I didn't want to fail. And at the time, not knowing fully, not understanding fully what I was, if you'll excuse the term, up against, I kept trying. I kept trying, but to no avail whatsoever. Okay, it just got worse.
Mr. Depp, I'd like to fast forward a little bit to May of 2014. Could you please tell the jury what project you were working on in May of 2014?
May of 2014. May of 2014. There were a number of films that I made in succession. I can't remember if that might have been Pirates. No, I can't. Mordecai, or I don't remember. Can you remind me what May of 2014 film was?
Were you filming Black Mass in Boston of May of
Yes. Okay.
2014?
Yes. Excuse me. Yes. Oh, yes. I was filming a film called Black Mass in Boston, and Mr. Heard had come with me, and I had to. For the film, I had to. There were very early calls to work because I had a number of prosthetics glued to my face and blue contacts, so that I could resemble the actual. It was based on the true story of James Whitey Bulger, and so I had to go in quite early to get the prosthetics glued to my face and all that, and
Sorry,
work.
I realize it now.
The whole day, and then at the end of the night,
Yeah, I boomered it.
they would remove the prosthetics, which takes if it took 3 hours to put them on, it took about an hour to take them off. So on top of what could be
What I said is he gave just a ultimate flex on her whenever he said that he was so busy with a bunch of different movies he had no idea which one he was doing on 2014. Oozes of bad energy. Yeah, she does ooze the bad energy. It's really weird because she just some women can age really well. I don't think she will. She just has a very sad look about her. I mean, it's almost heartbreaking seeing how, I don't know, just that look about her, just weird.
Anywhere between a 14, 16, 17-hour day of work. What with the application of the makeup and then the taking off of the applications.
Was Miss Heard staying with you in Boston during the entire time that you were making that film?
Yes. Yes, she was.
And who from your staff was in Boston with you during that time?
Jerry Judge. Keenan Wyatt, Stephen Duders, Nathan Holmes, I believe.
Yeah, that is true. I don't think Sage is worried one iota about her,
Malcolm
Eric.
Connolly was there as well. So we'd have
Not one bit.
assistants, sound technician, security. I believe that
Hello,
was it.
how you doing? Good to see
Yes, I
you.
heard yesterday from Mr. Wyatt about a flight that you and Mr. Wyatt and Miss Heard were on from Boston to LA in May 2014. Do you remember that?
Yes.
And
Oh, and you guys make sure that you reach down there, hit that thumbs up. It helps the algorithm. No matter whether you're over here on mine or you're over there on Jess's, or you're over here on Jess's and over there on mine, whichever. Just make sure you hit that thumbs up, and it just really helps out the algorithm, and they like to see that there's engagement with all of you fine folks. So have a good one. Go back.
Could you please tell the jury what you remember about that specific flight?
I remember that as I was still filming Black Mass, before I did Black Mass, the film, my sister Christy and I were talking about the roxycodones that I had been, again, you know, that was the monkey on my back. That she came to me. She told me she'd read this book of Dr. Kipper's book, and I read Dr. Kipper's book, a good majority of it, and I agreed that I would do the detox. I would kick the opiates, but there was no time to do it before the film. So when the nurse, which was Nurse Debbie Lloyd, when she came to Boston, she had asked me, what is your dosage? How many of these are you taking per day? And, you know, someone who had been under, you know, under the kind of lock and key of a prescription drug that is highly addictive. I mean, with built-in barbs, that this drug does not want you to stop taking it. She asked me how many I took per day, or
That's good.
my dosage.
I like that.
And of course, as any person who's addicted and essentially a fool to the drug, and you know how important it is because you have felt the sting when you don't have it. So I agreed to the detox, and she asked me how many I took. I told her, obviously, more than I was taking.
Well, and yeah, I understand, T-Rex, that kicking that habit can be really hard, and especially in his position where it's more than just yes men. It's everybody is catering to him because he's the star pretty much everywhere he goes, you know, which just increases the amount of him wanting to separate. The anxiety of it could set it off even worse. So it's amazing. Yeah, same. I'm much closer to him, and I look okay, I guess. And Sage, you look absolutely wonderful.
Purely because when you're in that frame of mind, the one thing that you do not want to, a situation you don't want to find yourself in, is having no access to the thing that will make you not high. It will make you, it gets you, you only get better from it. If you start to get the shakes and the tremors and the you know, you could feel this traveling into your system. Your receptors
box.
are out
How's it
in
going?
mass.
Yeah,
And
worst
the receptors are
combination of whole
demanding
milk and less.
drug.
To
If you don't give the drug to the receptors, you will start going into a pretty nasty withdrawal, and it could which could and has ended in sort of seizures. You can go into pretty nasty seizures. So I told Debbie Lloyd more than was necessary, so that I could always have one or two in my pocket on the just in case. So I didn't find myself, on a plane or anywhere without one in my pocket to stop the inevitable body cramps and nausea and stomach cramps and seizure of the bones and shaking, and also it's quite an emotional ride as well. So yes, before the flight, Amber and her assistant Savannah McMillan wanted to be picked up in New York and then have the plane flight.
Now I want to say she's in her early 40s, late 30s, something like that. Hey, Iris, how's it going? Good to see you. So thank you. I'll be 50 next year. Never feared aging. Both my grandmothers were beautiful. No one believes me when I tell them my age in real life anyway. So yeah, very much so. Yes, the pleasures of having a private plane, not having to go through TSA, just walking on the jet with those pills loose in the pocket. Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, I'll be shoot. I won't disclose that. You can figure that out. I've talked about my age before.
Boston to pick me up, bring me back
Mm.
to Los Angeles. We had spoken the night before. We had argued the night before. She was most
Oh, there you
definitely
go.
looking for a. She was looking for a fight.
She looks like she's
actively
in
searching
her
for a
40s
way
year,
to instigate a fight
like late
with me.
40s.
And I had taken 2 of these opiates, these roxycodones, and I can tell you now. Some of you may be very, very well aware of this. Opiates are extreme downers. So if you have enough opiates in you, you will essentially go on what's called the nod. You'll just drop into sleep.
And draw beams on her
So
forehead.
I've heard the word blackout used, and there's a grave difference between a blackout from alcohol abuse, because that is a person who has ingested enough alcohol to render them. They can still behave, and they can still stand and talk and scream and yell and cry and do whatever they do, and never remember a thing. And generally, they're always embarrassed by it. So blackout is a very, very different animal to the opiate taking you into dreamland. So when I arrived on the plane, I was not feeling any pain, and I knew that she was ready for some kind of brawl, and I sat on the plane drawing. I was drawing in my notebook. She would verbally heckle, hassle, accuse, poke, prod physically, poke and prod psychologically, emotionally, and finally, as was my the one thing I learned: if you're gonna hide someplace from somebody, go straight into the bathroom. So I walked back into the back of the plane. I grabbed a pillow, and I went into the bathroom, locked the door, and lay down on the bathroom floor and went to sleep. And that's where I remained for the rest of the flight.
How much, if any, alcohol had you had before you got on the flight?
I honestly don't recall having any alcohol. I mean, maybe there was the sort of glass of champagne when you got on the plane or something like that. The initial thing, people order glasses of wine. People also tend to have a few drinks before a plane takes off, because some people don't like the turbulence and this and that. So it's a little bit of a liquid courage. But I certainly, after ingesting 2 of the roxycodones,
You're nicer than I am.
alcohol was not necessary.
I
So
would have drawn
I
a
can tell you now
peen
that I was not
don't know what you're
oozing all
talking
over her
about.
face.
Not, and if I had, I'd
Why would
probably
why would
be in the
anybody draw
bathroom
something like
hugging
that?
porcelain as opposed to sleeping on a pillow.
Who else was on that flight that you can recall?
I remember Jerry Judge was on the flight. Savannah was on the flight. Ms. Heard.
There you go.
Wyatt,
Perfect.
Stephen Duders.
That is beautiful.
Oh, I'm so bad.
I believe that's it.
What do you recall happening after you arrived back in LA?
T-Rex, get the fuck over yourself, bro. Like, I got up to go put myself some dinner. I don't care about you or Eric. Send me a super chat.
Or to go back to the same home together after that flight?
No, I don't believe
It
so.
is
I
sort
don't
of
believe we did. I think
sort of
she
shaped like
had decided if this is the time. Pretty sure.
Buttholes on
She
her
had
eyes?
decided to check herself into the Chateau Marmont.
I don't know.
There's so many of these. It's hard to sort of keep them all straight.
Who would have paid for Miss Heard to stay at the Chateau Marmont?
I would have paid for it. If she wanted to go to the Chateau Marmont, I wasn't going to let her pay for it, no matter the circumstances. I wasn't going to let her pay for it because I knew that might expensive for her. So generally, I would take care of things of that nature.
And why did Miss Heard tell you why she was staying at the Chateau Marmont?
No. Well, I mean, she was clearly upset, and she was irate. And I can't say that it was a bad idea for her to stay at the Chateau Marmont at that time. I
It's
don't
like
know
a
why she went to the
doll.
Chateau, since she still had her apartment on Orange, I believe, and the penthouse. Because I could have gone to Sweetser, but she went to the Chateau Marmont.
Mr. Depp, do you recall why you were flying from Boston to LA in May 2014?
I can't remember if it was a break from the film or if I finished the film, and that was before we went. Well, before I was supposed to go to the island to detox from the opiates.
I think
Is that-
I'm about to switch gears, so
Okay,
if this is
that's-
a good time for a break.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll go ahead and have our morning recess. Please do not do any outside research and don't talk to anybody about the case, and we'll see you in 15 minutes, okay? Thank you.
What she needs is a little bit of like polka dots on her shirt. She'd be like Elaine, don't you think?
And so again, since you're still on the stand, do not discuss your testimony with anybody, including your attorneys, okay? All right,
Like
we'll
a
come back
little
at
bug.
11:05, right?
I'm so bad. So bad.
No, you're not. You're
Let's see.
awesome.
Let's see. I think if I draw something similar to, let's see,
All right, thank you. Be seated. Thank you. Okay, next
thinking somewhere about here.
Mr. Depp, who's Dr. Kipper?
Dr. Kipper is
Mr. Depp.
he's been my doctor.
Is that a new one?
since
Mr.
I,
Depp?
met him in
Mr.
February
Depp.
of
Yeah.
2014 around there
D-U-P-P?
in Boston.
Yep.
And why were you connected with Dr. Kipper?
My sister Christy knew, of course, that I had been addicted to the opiates, and she was concerned, and she brought me his book and talked to me heart to heart.
Good times,
Actually,
Shizzy.
I
Good
was
times.
Hey, I did that
through the
just
detox.
by
What was your answer?
Yes.
just by pure memory.
And,
Hey
Miss
Jamie,
Lloyd, can you
good
please
to
explain
see you.
who she is?
Debbie Lloyd is a nurse.
I think me and Shizzy are the best trolls,
My doctor,
especially
Dr.
when we're together in
assigned
someone's
to,
chat.
my case, to be the
We just start going off.
to oversee the detox and deliver the medications to me that would help with my with the effects of withdrawal that one goes through. To essentially try and knock you out, so you don't go through the nastiness of the affair.
What is,
Draw her a
oh, is that supposed to be his like beard?
Yeah,
Yes, you did.
Oh, okay. I'm like, what the
When you were
hell
under
is
Dr.
that?
Kipper's care, how often?
just
do
wait
you
till he
see Miss
turns
Lloyd?
his head the right way.
On location every day.
Have to erase it all.
Yes, on location every day. Even when after a year or two, I was still seeing her at least on a bi-weekly basis, 2 to 3 times a week.
When did you start the detox process that you mentioned?
I know that I believe it was in August, July or August of 2015, 14. I cannot remember the year. 14, I guess.
And where did you do this detox process?
We did it. The detox process happened on. I have a place in the Bahamas. I'm never comfortable saying this, but it's an island. It's a very strange thing to say, but I thought that would be the best place, the most private place where there were no worries of paparazzi or any of that. So
Drawn
this
like
was a
a
place where I could
got her
literally
with the
be
pig
alone,
nose and him with a
where
little
I
hat.
can have actual anonymity. So I thought that would be the best place to do it.
Yeah, because all the homies are in my chat today. Sup?
Oh yeah. What's up,
Debbie.
homies?
Nurse Debbie Lloyd traveled with me on the plane. Ms. Heard,
There we go.
I believe that was it.
Does that work?
On the plane to go to the
Is
island.
that pretty close?
I
Yes.
was not bringing security. I was not bringing assistance. In fact, initially, my sister Christy was going to go there to help Ms. Lloyd and the doctor through the detox, which made perfect sense since that the whole thing had been born out of her
Imagine saying my island and saying
desire
it
for
with
me to
100% sincerity.
clean.
Okay.
Yep.
So initially, it was
All these
supposed to be
mods,
Christy
they're on my
coming.
island.
Of course,
Yeah.
Ms. Heard,
Oh
I-
yeah.
there was a great part of me that was very uncomfortable with Ms. Heard coming along.
Yeah, I would
that,
love being able to say that.
detox because as things could fluctuate very rapidly in our relationship,
I like what
I
you
was
did.
wary that
You like that?
Mhm.
those things would come up during
Beautiful. I
what
love that
appeared to be
artwork.
a very straight.
I think I can make his hat look better.
T-Rex said, I'm gonna go to
application of
Shizzy's
these
island.
substances.
Go.
And I
Don't
was
come back.
well aware that it was not going to be
Kidding.
pleasant.
Yeah.
I was well aware that
Downloading
that I was
another
going to go
copy
through
of Blood and
quite a bit of
didn't know there was a 4K AI
uh,
upscale version. I
physical
can get the
changes,
cholo details.
physical,
Vato.
um,
Toy box.
yes, I was afraid that it would be too much for her, and I also felt that she might be too much for me at the time.
So then why did Ms. Heard come down to the island with you during the detox process?
She insisted, and she switched places with Christy.
Just wondering what
Maybe
Johnny
you
would
could
look like if he had a
describe what it
beard.
Feels like to go through a detox from opioids.
I would say the best way to describe it is.
Oh no.
It feels like the
I
inside
couldn't help it.
No.
is trying to escape the body.
Poor Johnny.
So
I
it's,
couldn't help it.
it becomes obviously very physical,
Uh,
and so therefore you'll go into a withdrawal would mean that you would go into you'd have immense cramps in your
Get the
stomach.
cholo
Yeah,
Cholo
we've
muscles
gotten
going.
really bad.
My body would shake.
Like we derail
the pain
every
is,
fucking stream
like
that we
nothing
do.
I've ever
Toy
Even
box.
our own.
Toy box. I
Well,
know
that
it.
was-
It just looks so natural, doesn't
The
it?
best way to explain it, for example, there was a situation that
That's
when we were on
page
the island,
marker.
and I was going through the details.
That wasn't Amish.
And it was hitting pretty hard at that point.
Ask good logic. That was
And
not
Ms. Heard
Amish.
had made a deal with
It was
Nurse Debbie and Dr. Kipper to stay at their end of the island, and that she would administer the
Acetic.
drugs,
there you go. I got you.
administer the medications that I needed to not go into the, for lack of a better word, these intense, sharp, painful heebie-jeebies. And there was a moment when I could feel my body starting to tense, and I could feel the withdrawals coming on, and they come on quick, and they're not discreet. They go straight for the jugular. I mean, like I said, when your receptors are in
It's easier to
full
draw
bloom,
over stationary
ready
objects
for the
because they don't move.
Like
the
Amber's
substance
ugly
drugs,
ass face.
the opiates that my body had
Yep.
become used to, and that
Amber's face is pretty
receptors will be
stationary,
fed by.
if you ask me.
Yeah, it is. It is a.
There was a
it's breast
moment
bitch
when,
face.
it was coming on very fast, and I was sitting on the couch in the little house that we all saw on the island. Miss Heard was at the sort of kitchen area, and she was chopping vegetables, I remember. And I think it was around 2:30 in the afternoon, and the effects of the withdrawals were really coming on. And I said to Miss Heard, I'm going to need the meds now. And she said, she looked at the clock and she said, it's not time. And I said, no, you don't understand. This is not about clocks and watches and things. I'm going into the ship, and it was visible. And I hate
Oh, I
I
got a
hate
good
to
one.
have, I hate saying this, and I hate to have to admit this,
Oh boy.
but that was
I don't want to hear it.
about the lowest point
I don't do
in my
drama.
life.
Out
It
of
was
sight,
the
out of
lowest
mind.
I'd ever felt as a
Not my
as a
business.
human being, because I had to say, please, please, may I have the meds, because it's really kicking in. And she was adamant, no, it's not time. It's not time. So, in explaining how these withdrawals start to take over your body,
What are
when
you
I was
drawing?
begging at
You'll
that
see.
point for the meds, I found that I had sort of rolled off the couch and I was sitting on the floor crying. Tears streaming down my face, begging another human being to please give me the meds that will take this away. And she would not. She was adamant that, nope, it's not time, 4 o'clock. So the only thing that one can do in that situation is you have to trick the body. You have to manipulate your body out away from those. Well, you have to trick the body to get away from the receptors. So the only thing that one can do is you go straight to the shower, and you put it on scalding water, and you stand underneath the scalding shower, and essentially you're burning the top. Your skin is burning from the heat of the water, and what that would do is it would trick the nerves away from the receptors, because they had an immediate problem that needed to be dealt with.
It's hard to draw
the nerves.
straight
So
lines with
so what
this.
it does is the scalding shower would reverse those nerve endings.
Abomination says her head floating on a sea of blood, or a
because there
matador
was a
holding
problem
up the red
So
flag.
that's how I would be able to bypass those withdrawal symptoms at times. It doesn't fully take them away, but what it does is it tricks your body into thinking that there's something going horribly wrong on top. So it keeps them away from the receptors. After that, I had a conversation with
Drawing a guillotine
Nurse
for.
Debbie and with Dr. Kipper.
Oh,
And I
okay.
said, I don't believe. I told them that she had denied me the meds.
Just needs,
when
I
was
guess, a
in need,
little
and,
rope here.
Then I told them that I
something.
don't think that this is going to work here anymore. I think we have to leave the island, and I need
A
to
little
be.
rope. She can pull it.
She can't be with me while I'm going through the rest of this detoxification. So
Oh,
I told them we should leave the island.
I can draw.
I asked them if they understood what I was doing, and they did. So we went back to Los Angeles, and then I asked Miss Heard if she would please allow me 5 days, 7 days, whatever it took to get finish with the rest of this horrific detox. And
Yes.
Did Ms. Heard give you that time?
she did, reluctantly, yes. I was immediately accused of throwing her out. I was accused of abandoning her. I was accused of not appreciating all that she had done to get me to this point where I was, which was kind of an interesting argument for me. I begged her, please, can I get a place at the Beverly Hills Hotel? I'll get you and your friends a bungalow at the Beverly Hills Hotel where you can all stay together and have a grand old flag. You can have fun, do whatever you want. And you don't have to sit around.
Oh,
and
God.
listen to, shaky. And she wasn't happy about it.
Did you
but,
see the message from
It was
Waifu?
very necessary. So she did eventually
No, I didn't.
leave for about five days or so. And I
What does it say?
sat
He's really.
Captain
for a
Halfnut.
few days. I sat in a metal chair with
Who's
one
Captain
song on
Halfnut?
one song on a loop that I could.
Where'd
focus
she send
the
it?
Lyrics and the
Discord?
power of the song
Oh, that's why.
to help me get through it. And
I have to look.
even once the effects started to
The-
go away, that
you
is the
know,
pain.
The guy.
I was still.
Oh, geez.
Something strange that happens. You feel.
Oh,
like
that's gonna be.
in your body. You feel this.
What time are they
Very
doing
foreign.
it?
Just
Tonight
sitting there like
at.
going through it, and I didn't understand what the electricity.
Oh, they're
was,
live right now. Holy
until
shit.
probably. And this
Holy
lasted
crap!
I gotta
electricity,
go
that
look.
feeling lasted for a month, 2 months. And
Oh,
I finally realized at a certain point what that electricity was, and I was feeling that's what it was. I was actually feeling,
damn it.
without the aid of
This is going to be an epic
drug.
destruction.
without the aid of any drugs.
Mhm.
I mean, I had refused
Hmm.
with Dr. Kipper and Nurse Debbie and Amber at the
Somebody
table before
record
she
it.
left for the hotel with her friends. I had refused to.
Wait, I can't find
the phenobarbital
his channel. Is he on
and the
Rumble?
lithium.
No.
Because to me it was just another drug.
Can't
in the
find
way.
his channel. I was
It
subscribed
seemed
to
like it
him.
was just another hurdle to get over, and I
God
would
damn
rather
it.
just
Let me
get
go
it
to his
out
Twitter.
of my system now and move forward. Maybe I wouldn't
Yeah.
have had the electricity. Maybe I wouldn't have felt as quickly. But
Oh, he is
didn't
on
want to
Rumble.
take phenobarbital,
Oh, okay.
lithium, and
I found
serotonin
it.
and Neurontin and all these other things.
I'll put the
And
link.
the worst of the two, I
Yeah,
believe,
chat.
in the
were
Discord
the,
thing.
phenobarbital and the lithium. So I went
That's
through
hilarious.
that.
Oops. I did something wrong. Let's exit that. Something happened. You still there? It paused up.
Rose?
Yeah. Like I've got it on play. Oh. It's not me. It's the court feed. This right here is something I think they cut out. And this was
Oh.
because if you look, see how it's blank right there?
Yeah.
It's cut out a good part of the wedding stuff.
No, Toy Box. I'll send you the link to the Rumble stream.
Oh,
We don't
you'll
even
love
have to say anything. You'll just know.
You'll love it.
You'll know what we're talking about.
Yes, you will.
Toy Box, check your Discord.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Save the cosplay of next task. I have it's there with all your cat pics. Aw, special cat pics. I know it's
She did look cute in that cosplay. I'm not gonna lie. She still can't though.
Hey, that's how it goes.
Well, there was a schedule that was written out and printed out and sent out, so that everyone would know
Thanks, Sage.
exactly the time that everything would happen. And on that sheet, the schedule, there was like some kind of rehearsal type thing. There was also there was a great dilemma in who was going to be who. That's where the argument between Ms. Pennington and Io Tillett Wright.
Mr. Depp, who did you observe taking drugs at the wedding?
So if you look over
A
here
number of people
in this
were
little
taking,
corner,
MDMA. As I
you
said,
see that
the list,
there's
there was after the
something
wedding, there
sitting
was
over here.
it was like dinner, dancing, and drugs on the schedule that came from Ms. Heard and Ms. Pennington.
See it?
So Amber.
Good.
It's sitting right there in the corner.
A couple of friends of mine.
T-Rex just DM'd me. Can I have the link too? I'm so confused.
Savannah.
T-Rex is a
her
chismoso.
assistant, Phyllis Wright. All of her were all
Toy Box.
taking of the MDMA.
What if any drugs did you take that day?
Again, to be honest with you, I mean, I don't know how much MDMA they had, but for me, that was for me to have taken MDMA would have been a waste of the drug.
Legendary's like, just stream
You
the
understand
Rumble
what I mean?
feed.
It
I
would have been
can't.
essentially taking someone else's
No.
high, because it wouldn't
No,
It's
we
on
can't.
Common Nerds
How-
Rumble, and he got
How
kicked off of
many drugs did you
YouTube.
actually take that day?
Yeah.
The day of our wedding,
Yes.
I smoked marijuana, and I don't remember drinking. I don't remember that I was drinking then. This was right. This was right before she was going
See
to
if I can get
London
her
to do,
hair just about right.
I believe, London Fields, and I was going off to
So
Australia.
this is the area that her head covers.
5.
That little section right there.
Pretty positive at that point I wasn't partaking of alcohol. My
So if I
drug
can
of
draw
choice is or was and is
her
marijuana.
hair here.
That's all that was fine for me.
When
So,
you and
so
Ms.
dipping into a little tiny baggie of, licking your finger and dipping into a little tiny communal bag of MDMA, it was pointless for me.
When you and Ms. Heard got married, did you have a prenuptial agreement in place?
No, we did not. No.
And why not?
There always seemed to be some reason or another why she wouldn't discuss it, or if we did discuss it, it became an issue that would turn into it would springboard into unpleasantness and then arguments.
Yeah, I can fill that in
And-
now.
And then it was also too late. At a certain point, it was just too late. So then the idea of a post-nup agreement was brought up to Ms. Heard, and that was in Australia. That was the beginning of the Australian.
Well, let's
Fight.
talk about Australia then. But first of all, why were you in Australia?
I was just working on Pirates of the Caribbean 5.
And who from your team was with you in Australia?
Jerry Judge, Malcolm Connolly,
How's that?
Nathan Holmes, Stephen Duders.
I can draw
Why?
like little thinner lines and maybe
and yeah, no, that's it.
do
Was Miss
like
Lloyd in
a
Australia with you
nose
as well?
Oh
here.
yes, sorry, yes, Miss Lloyd traveled to Australia with us.
And did Dr. Kipper come down to Australia at any point?
Yeah, Dr. Kipper came down
Damn it.
a bit later.
Mr. Wyatt testified yesterday that he observed you have a meeting with Sean Bailey in Australia. Do you remember that?
Yes,
And could you please tell the jury who Sean Bailey is?
Sean Bailey at that time was, I believe he was the number 3 man at Disney in terms of hierarchy. He was upper echelon Disney, so he was under Bob.
There we
Iger,
go. That's better.
Initially under Dick Cook, who was removed from Disney.
That looks
for some
great.
reason.
Thank
So,
you.
Yes, he's
Much better than her, huh?
And why were you having a discussion with Mr. Bailey?
Big time.
The discussions
Oh,
that
yeah.
I was having with Mr. Bailey, with Sean Bailey, were they had to do with, well,
Mhm.
as I think we've established, I have always, from the beginning of that series of films, I had always rewritten my character's words and jokes, if you will,
That's it.
and situational comedy and things that I would add. And Mr. Bailey was very complimentary about some of the things that I'd done. He'd come over to me laughing after a
Objection,
take.
calls for hearsay.
Your Honor, this is just discussing generally what they were talking about.
Even specific, I'll sustain that if you want. Continue, that's fine.
Mr. Depp, was Ms. Heard in Australia with you?
She came a little later, yes.
Do you recall when she came down?
I don't recall. Oh, well,
Wish I
I
could
do
change the
recall it was-
color of the marker.
March.
Oh, that I can.
It was March.
And what happened when Ms.
Let's
Heard came to
make
visit
it-
you in Australia?
Ms. Heard was upset because, as I stated earlier, as it was too late for a prenup agreement, there was a discussion of
So
Post-nup.
it's-
agreement. And I had called my lawyer at the time and asked him if he could have one of his lawyers sit down with Ms. Heard
like little
and
blue
give her
outfit
a
here.
basic rundown of what a postnuptial agreement meant. And I was told that they showed her.
Objection, hearsay.
Your Honor, this is something he asked an
Mhm.
attorney. It's not a statement of fact that's being offered for its truth.
And there.
What did Ms.
And
Heard
I
tell you
think
she was upset
I
about when she
think
arrived in Australia?
butterfly collars would look good on her.
Ms. Heard told me that
Maybe like a little sailor outfit or
the lady
something.
that she met with
And we'll
was
give her.
Are you trying to turn her into Sailor Moon? She could never.
rude and
No.
dismissive.
No.
I was gonna
God,
say,
no. No.
All she was being shown was a
Lex
an
said to be
example
accurate,
of
you should probably just put
post-truth
another
behavior.
poop over Amber.
Ms. Heard then stated to me she was
Oh, there's
very
one over
insulted.
here
She
on the
stated to
side.
me that she
See,
what she
right
had said
over
was,
here.
she said to the lawyer, the woman, that this Johnny can't. He must not. He
Yeah,
doesn't
I'm
know.
gonna have to change that
He
color
doesn't know that this
to
is what this is. No way he
black,
would
so
agree
that
to
way I
this.
can find it again.
And what Ms. Heard then
Oops.
expressed to me was that the lawyer, the woman, had laughed at her and said, "Oh, he knows. Yes, he knows everything."
Pencil.
Which sent her
There
into
we go.
a tailspin. So by the time she arrived in Australia,
So we
that
do
was
a little
sunk
pencil
very deep into
here.
her psyche. I mean, so much
A little
so that
thicker.
what really surprised me was that
Mhm.
she kept saying, "I'm not even in your
And,
will. I'm not even in your will." I thought that was an odd thing to say.
Yep. No.
Since I don't think anybody had time to change wills or anything of that nature. So those things just didn't. It felt
And
wrong, and she could not
Okay.
let go of the fact that I was in on this post-nup agreement, and that I was trying to trick her into essentially getting nothing if something were to happen.
And how did you respond to Ms. Heard?
So I just told her those are not my intentions, you know. And at a certain point, you don't know what to do. I mean, it's
See
the person
that
is telling you,
there,
she's telling you,
there.
you don't trust me, you don't trust me, you don't trust me, and
Get blue again.
I can't speak about legal documents. I can't speak legalese. I can't explain to her these things. All I could do was
Uh-huh.
try to calm her down and say that I
Good
was
luck
not
on
out
that.
to screw her over or put her in a position that was uncomfortable.
Did that work?
These were normal things to do. It did not work. No, it escalated and escalated and turned into madness, chaos,
Can you please
violence.
can you please describe that chaos and violence?
Yes, she was irate. She was irate and she was possessed. And when I tried to remove myself as I normally would from a situation, that is to say, as she's hammering me with sort of brutal words and I don't, pardon my language, but I remember that it wasn't nice sort of being called an ass kisser to lawyers or a pussy that didn't fight for her or stand up for her. I again tried to remove myself from the situation, but to no avail. As I literally, the house that they had rented for me in Australia was quite a large place. It was quite a bit of a labyrinth, and a lot of rooms, a lot of extra rooms. So I would go to,
Down there. Yeah.
well, I'll just cut to the chase. I think that I ended up locking myself in about at least 9 bedrooms, bathrooms that day, as she was banging on the doors and screaming obscenities.
T-Rex, I
wanting
don't know
to,
what he's
have
doing
a
either.
physical altercation.
We're just gonna have to wait for him
How did
to
it
finish
hurt you with
drawing
finger?
to let us
If
know.
I do, I may just continue
There
to
was one point
draw.
where I'd stayed in one of the, sitting on a
Oh, make
bathroom
sure you
floor,
put like the outline of her
door
nipples
locked,
facing
she's
different
banging away, screaming.
Oh, I am. I got that
More
all
accurate.
I
covered.
could hear her walk away.
Yeah.
I could hear her sort of receding into the distance, if you will, and yes, yes, it became very emotional because you can't win for losing. There was nothing I could do to make her understand that I had, if that lawyer had in fact done that, and I did call my lawyer at the time, Jake Bloom, and I had him get these people on the phone, and I'm ashamed to say that I had taken, at that point when I was on the phone with him, I had taken Miss Heard's words to heart, and I laid out a ration of very. I was very upset that she was pushed to that limit,
We got to
because
draw
I
our
believed it.
butts now.
And in fact, none of it had happened. So it was all getting too crazy. And again, I'd been sober for many, many months from alcohol and substances, aside from the marijuana.
Button.
Um,
Little
and
button.
I left the place, the room that I was hiding in, or not hiding, locked myself into. And I
Yeah.
went downstairs in the house. There was
Where?
downstairs in the house. As soon as you walk in the house, you can go upstairs or downstairs. Downstairs, there was a sort of a rec area, pool table and such. And there was a bar.
That's it.
And I was a mess. I was a wreck. I was shaking, and I just didn't understand why all this was happening. So I went behind the bar. I grabbed a bottle of vodka that was there and a shot glass, and sat at the bar. She was nowhere around, and I poured myself 2 or 3 stiff shots of the vodka. First taste of alcohol I'd had in a long time, and then she came down
Pretty good, I
to the
think.
bar and found me there, and of course started screaming, "Oh, you're drinking again, the monster," and all that. So she reached, she walked up to me and reached and grabbed the bottle of vodka,
As you do.
and then just
I'll try to figure out what the hell you're
Look.
actually drawing.
and
Oh, me?
it just went
Yeah.
right past my head and smashed behind me.
I'm
Like I'm trying to figure out what angle we're
So-
going with.
I stood up.
oh, it'll
and I
get
walked
there.
behind the bar. And there was
Just
a larger bottle of vodka, the kind with
watching.
a handle, on it.
all right. Let me get the
I grabbed
color
that, and I went
of
and I sat in my seat again. I opened the bottle and I poured myself a shot.
there and
Drank it.
there.
Miss Heard was
And we'll get
flinging insults left, right, and center, and she then grabbed that bottle and
here's where the
threw that at me. And the way that the bar was situated, and where Miss Heard was. So if I could show you, so if this is the bar,
mm,
where the glass was,
get some black for the little beady eyes.
bottles. If this was the bar, and I'm sitting here like this, she would grab the bottle and she would go
Maybe
there.
on the nose a little bit.
And so I
Gotta get the unhappy
like this
face.
in the chair, looking at her. First bottle
And-
went, then got the other bottle shot.
First, we get
Takes the second bottle.
this
the large one.
color here.
I'm in this position again, and my
So this
hand
way
was
I
on the
can
edge
get
of
her
the bar like that, and leaning over the fingers like that, and she threw the large bottle, and it made
little-
contact and shattered.
draw her the horns coming
everywhere.
out of here.
And I honestly didn't
I
feel
think I
pain
can do better.
at first at all. I felt no pain whatsoever.
Yep.
What I felt was I
Ah!
felt heat. I felt heat, and I felt as if something were dripping down my hand, and then I looked down and realized that
The cool thing is
tip of my
now
finger
I figured out how to draw like
severed. And
a little
I was looking directly at
like that.
my bones,
Is that about right, Jess?
and the
What'd you do?
the meaty portion of the inside of your finger, and
I wasn't looking at the
blood was
screen.
just,
Oh yeah,
pouring
yeah.
out.
That looks
And
good.
at that point,
I mean,
Yep.
you can sort of see like
I think that I went into some sort of, I don't know what a nervous breakdown feels like, but that's probably the closest that I've ever been. Nothing made sense. And I knew in my mind and in my heart, this is not life. This is not life. No one should have to go through this. And as I said, this feeling of nervous, being in the middle of some sort of nervous breakdown, I started to write with my blood, in my own blood, on the walls. Little reminders from our past
gotta give her some neck hair,
that
the neck beard.
essentially represented lies that she had told me, and lies that I had caught her in. And then I did it. The next thing, amongst all the madness, I would again hide in the bathroom or wherever, and I texted Dr. Kipper and I said, "You might want to come over. I've cut my finger off here."
Which finger was cut, Mr. Depp?
It's the middle. It's a funny looking one. It's the middle finger here. You can see the.
Yeah.
Well, you can see all the sort of
Is that better?
from the initial
Yes.
wound. This
I think she
Wait.
needs a little more.
here were
No.
crushed.
Make it a
Looked
unibrow.
like Vesuvius.
Oh, there you
And,
go.
So this part of my finger now is so that because of not having use of the tip here, this is basically arthritis that kicks into the joint once that upper part of the finger is mangled.
So is that the right middle finger?
Right middle, yes.
And is that your dominant hand?
Yes, it is. Yes.
Mr. Depp, after Ms. Heard threw the vodka bottle at you and severed your finger, what, if anything, did she say when she saw the injury?
I don't recall anything, but just it was almost like white noise, just someone yelling. It was just a high pitched, constant attack of insults. It was just jumbled words to me in a very high frequency, and I was in a bit of shock. I was in shock.
You mentioned that you
That-
reached out to
that-
Dr.
that looked
Kipper.
better?
Did you receive medical attention after that?
Yes.
Jerry Judge,
Give her a pearl
Malcolm
necklace.
Connolly,
Beautiful. Chef's kiss.
I believe Debbie Lloyd was there. Yes, Debbie Lloyd was there.
Thank you.
Ben King had arrived as well.
Who is Ben King?
Ben King was he's essentially a house.
So she doesn't know how to
real estate
act.
manager, and
That's the
we
problem.
worked together
If
in
she knew
London
how to
a few times,
act,
and,
it would be easier for her.
he's a wonderful guy. So I brought Ben along to Australia to.
But she doesn't have
everything.
empathy. If you don't have empathy,
Very, very
you
good,
can't
Very nice.
act
And
like
then
a normal
there
human
was
being.
also, yeah, I mentioned Malcolm and Jerry. Yeah, they were there as well.
Which, if any, of the medical professionals that you saw that day did you tell what happened to your
Her
finger?
mode is resting
I-
bitch face and bitch.
When Malcolm and
I mean, even when she's laughing, she doesn't
Doctor-
look
when
happy.
they took me to first we went to Malcolm's apartment where he was staying while we were shooting the film, and tried to clean my hand because I had worked the day before, and obviously when you're playing pirate Captain Jack or whatever, you're covered with they paint with alcohol, with rubbing alcohol. They paint dirt all into your hands and into your face and everything. So they were worried about getting my finger clean, so they tried doing that at Malcolm's, and then Chip said, "No, we got to get to emergency room, and we got to get hold of the tip of his finger." So we went to the emergency room. The doctor asked me what happened, and I lied to him. I said that I had smashed it in these large accordion doors, that it got caught in the accordion doors.
Why would you lie about that?
I lied because I didn't feel, I didn't want to disclose that it was what it was. I didn't want to disclose that it had been, I didn't want to
A
disclose
clown
that it
nose?
was her that had thrown the,
Is that
thrown
what
the
that
vodka
is?
bottle
What?
at me, and then
Is that
took my
supposed to
finger
be a
off.
clown
I didn't
nose?
want to get her in trouble. I didn't want to
Ooh, this is cool. I didn't know I
tried
could
to,
do that.
just keep things as copacetic and as easy as possible for
Oh, you
everyone.
should
I
draw
didn't
a
want
red
to
A
put
on
her in
like
that mix.
her shoulder, like the top,
Did you tell
like
Dr.
right
Kipper
here.
what had actually happened to
Get
your
it?
finger?
Easy A.
Yes,
After you returned from the hospital, where did you go?
Like that?
I went to
Yeah.
Something like
Malcolm
that.
Connolly's
Okay.
apartment and slept on his couch.
And to the extent that you know, where was Ms. Heard during this time?
Ms. Heard
Do. I'll redo this
I
here.
wasn't there, but I had. It was clear that she had to.
Put little
she
set
needed to leave,
A.
and I'd asked them to get her on a flight from Melbourne or Sydney or wherever back to Los Angeles.
Why did you ask for that?
I didn't want to see her. I didn't want to see
Like
her.
that?
I didn't want
Better?
to
Yes.
have any more
And
arguments. I was, for all intents and purposes, I was just done.
Mr. Depp, I'd like to show you a picture. If we could please pull up Plaintiff's Exhibit 145. Mr. Depp, what is this a picture of?
That is, that's me in the emergency room. I see a detail that I'd forgotten, which is the Ms. Heard had taken my cigarette from the ashtray and stomped
There
it
we
on
go.
my face here.
Could you mark on the screen where you see that?
Is that better? That's like
Above that
picture
window.
worthy
Yes.
right there.
And
Oh
do you know
yeah.
This picture?
I do not know.
Can we please publish this to the jury?
Ooh, I
Any
got
evidence?
one
Yes,
here
please.
too.
The objection. All right, 145 in evidence. You can publish to the jury.
And
Because
so, Mr. Depp,
Lane's
while
little
Mr. Depp
head
looks through the
keeps
photograph,
popping
can
out
you
over
explain,
here.
What that green dot is identifying.
Just above the
No, do that.
just above the green dot is a
Ew,
wound,
Elaine.
from Ms. Heard taking my cigarette, and this is after the finger had gone away, and she stubbed it out in my face, on my cheek.
And
So that's the result. Of
Off topic, T-Rex says, Shizzy, have you ever messed around with Raspberry Pi computers? I'm thinking of getting one and setting it up as an emulator for older console games like Sega, Genesis, and NES.
It's,
yeah, I've actually seen people do that
What is this
before.
picture of, Mr. Depp?
And they'll set up a monitor
remains of
for
my
it,
finger.
and they'll
Thank you.
upload
Was this taken shortly after
like
you
they'll
entered?
upload a small monitor. They'll get joysticks, and they'll make a whole computer box, so they have a whole bunch of video games on it, and they can just play, you know, like the old Street Fighter or Pole Position or any number of those. They'll do it with like a Raspberry Pi instead of a full-on computer. So I've seen people do that.
Mr. Depp, how long after your finger was injured did you return to LA?
Not saying you should have a
emergency
game night, but I will say there's a lot of
Um,
content available for jokes right now.
the
Oh, there's always
following
stuff
day,
available for
I
jokes.
was sent to they found a
We can do a game
surgeon,
night on
in Australia,
Friday,
so that I could go.
Yeah,
they wanted me to take
we'll do a game night
exercise
later.
Saturday.
and all that.
I forgot about this.
So we went to that doctor, the finger surgeon, and he asked me what happened to my finger, and I again lied, and I
Thanks,
stuck to the story that it was
So you can.
smashed in an large accordion door, and
Hmm.
he looked at me as if I were lying, and the next thing I heard was, "Sir, that is a wound of velocity," and
Your Honor, this is a communication in the context of medical treatment.
Sustain the objection. Move on.
So, Mr. Depp, this was a surgeon you saw in Australia.
yes,
When did you return to Los Angeles after
How's
seeing
that?
that surgeon?
I believe
The
it was
turd.
probably
He
the next day,
screenshotted the turd's face.
where
Yeah,
someone who would hook me up with a wonderful, sort of great expert in reconstruction of hand.
You already know what I'm doing, aren't you?
I do.
So I went to see the surgeon, and we prepped
I
for
have to. It's so
surgery,
funny.
pretty quickly.
I love it.
And what type of surgery did you have on your finger?
Mm.
There we go.
The majority of this was all missing, and essentially to some degree hollowed out, if you will, the bone had shattered, and then there was a bone that was sticking out in there.
I love
So
it.
he had to take do a skin graft from
So
his
much
clothes
more
and,
enjoyable this way.
and graft it onto my finger to give me a finger again.
No,
Can you also point to your
T-Rex.
finger
Look at my
to
picture.
visualize it?
But now you kind of made me want to
I
do a
don't think it was
virtual
initially that they put
background
the pin.
gaming.
I think the pin feels like
You
the pin came
bastard.
later. I'm not sure, but you just I had to go after the surgery. It was bandaged up, and they give you all kinds of things on what to do, what not to do, keep it elevated or this or that. And
Did you see her move when he
just,
said it was
walked away with
a
a
wound
very
of high
large
velocity because later on in the trial she tried to cause something high velocity too.
It was all wrapped
So
in
she
this,
just took a mental note inside her head.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
They've given you shots in there and
Riggs.
such.
I've seen it.
How long did you wear that bandage that you just described?
Well, the bandage was from
my
the
gosh.
time of the surgery all the way through the remainder of finishing Pirates of the Caribbean, which was I think I finished. The injury took place in March. Finished
That's
Pirates
more
of the
fun to
Caribbean
look
5,
at.
I believe, in
I wonder if I.
August, beginning of August, end of July.
Some of
You
So
know
there
what-
was a bandage on it the whole time. And what I had to do was
did this and got
where because of
sides.
there's a
Um,
special effects a trick that they had planned.
Next.
Basically, whatever bandage I had on, as long as they could, they would put little green dots, for example, on the splint and the finger and all that, and the bandages, so that in post production they could use what's called computer generated imagery (CGI) to erase the bandage and replace it with a normal finger. That's how we finished the film.
If we could please pull up Plaintiff's Exhibit 61. And if we could scroll to the second picture, or third.
okay,
One more,
let's see.
please.
We'll undo that one. Undo that one.
Sorry, this is a series of pictures.
Text.
And to spare everyone, I don't think I'll show you
Oh,
the immediate injury again. This
in
way. Thank
here.
you. Mr. Depp, you
Mm.
recognize this picture?
Yes, I do.
And what's reflected in this picture?
This
Oh.
was taken in the surgeon's office, where I'd go in occasionally. Well, I had to go in every couple of few days to have it checked out for infections and such. And so the finger and non-finger was wrapped
Finger, non-finger.
quite heavily,
Yeah.
and there was this
Sucks.
medicated, kind of greasy medicated thing on top of the wound itself. And this, I believe, seems like when the pin was in.
It just
here,
keeps. It's just
and
like
the wrapping is
stays there most of the
bandage is,
time.
well, I had my choice, and I thought, well, may as well take the kitty bandages, dinosaurs and hearts and unicorns. As I said, at least to have some humor to deflect the pain.
Your Honor, I'd like to move Plaintiff's Exhibit 61 into evidence.
Do you want the whole exhibit or just this picture?
If we could publish the whole exhibit.
You want the whole picture, the whole exhibit? Any objections to 61?
JD's talking about his finger being blown off, being ripped off of
So
his
how long after your injury was this picture taken?
of his body.
After the initial injury,
Yes.
I'd say no more than, it would seem to me, no more than 5 days, a week.
And how long was this bandage on your hand for?
I think I
went
did,
back
yeah.
all the way up until I finished the film, and then up through August for sure, and then beyond, I had to keep it. I had to keep it covered. I had to keep it protected.
Do you recall how long after the injury that the
Yep,
excuse me, how long
1.5.
after the surgery the pins were removed from your finger?
I would say maybe, I think it was about 2 or 3 days, because I remember that there was maybe more, but I just remember that the pain seemed to
The
be getting
pain.
worse and worse.
The pain, the
As they would
pain.
rate it, from is this an 8 out of 10? Is this a 3 out of 10? That kind of thing. At a certain point, it became kind of a 12 out of 10, because it felt
That was the
hot.
that was
very,
just the
very, very
tip.
hot, and it
Just the
felt,
tip.
There was throbbing. It was throbbing.
Throbbing
the
tip.
pin in there. It was like I could feel the pin in there.
You
So
could feel the pin.
we called the surgeon. I called the surgeon.
Throbbing tip.
Told him. Actually, I think it might have been Debbie Lloyd. Actually called it, but I knew I had to see the surgeon.
I think
again.
Debbie Lloyd helped his
Something felt
throbbing
very
tip.
wrong, and I went there, and he removed all the
Giggity.
bandages, and he found that,
Giggity.
that my finger was indeed infected, and that I'd contracted MRSA, MRSA, which is like I believe it's like the flesh-eating disease or something. But it was a pretty, grotesque sight. After that, with the pin in, and what they had to do to save it.
Mr. Depp, while your finger was injured and healing, did you ever take any opiates during that time?
No, ma'am. No.
Here, I'll draw a little bit better
Guys,
for
I'm
you.
about to switch gears, so if
Alright,
it makes sense to take our lunch break.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead
So
and
there's
take our
her-
lunch break. Come back at 2 o'clock. Just make sure
There's
you're
her
not discussing this,
shirt.
not doing outside research, and we'll see you at 2.
Of course, A is for, her being an ass.
And again, sir, since you're still testifying, you cannot discuss your testimony with your attorneys or with anybody else, okay?
And this
All right,
is
so ready to?
her misshapen things there. Yeah, they need to be pointing more out. So let's draw that some more. Needs to be more like here and here. Something like that. Yeah, that works for me. Let's see. They come back about some running here. Oh, Young got it. Yeah.
Mr. Depp, could you please explain to the jury what's reflected in this photograph?
I believe that's, well, it's definitely me. After receiving kind of a roundhouse punch from Ms. Heard. I believe that this is, it's March. I believe that this is from what's been called the staircase incident.
Yeah.
Correct?
So you saw this trial?
Do you think this is from
No,
March
I didn't.
of 2015?
I didn't
I'm just
really
looking at the
think
top.
too much about her.
Do you remember who took this photograph?
It's not
Mr.
really
Depp,
my
Sean.
type.
And relative to when you had injured your finger, when was this photograph taken?
Sorry?
Relative to when you had injured your finger in Australia, when was this photograph taken?
The injury to my finger was sustained, I believe it was a couple of weeks or so before this, because we were back in Los Angeles for the surgery, rehabilitation of the digit.
So I know you can't see your hand in this photograph, but what would your hand have been like given its injury at this date?
Well, it was still a very, it was a very fresh wound. When that amount of, when the tip of when your finger is severed, that's not going to heal up for a very long time. And so my finger was still a very fresh wound. I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure that this might have been around the time of the pin.
Give her some
And,
googly
the
eyes.
pin that was put into my finger to keep it together, I guess.
And what type of cast would you have had on at this time?
It wasn't a cast per se, as it was bandaging. When the bandage was out to sort of here, that was extra padding for the tip of the finger protection, and also because of the pin that was in there. So, as I said before, there were when Nurse Debbie would ask, give me, on a scale of 1 to 10, your pain. When the finger started to feel differently and hurt a lot more, and it became like a 12 out of 10 pain, that was yes, that was right around then. And the reason for that was because of the infection. The MRSA had already been working its way for a number of days.
Mr. Depp, could you please explain to the jury the circumstances that led to you having the bruise that's reflected in this photograph?
There was another confrontation, another confrontation, another argument about
I'm trying to drink
something or other.
coffee. Left in 2
And
seconds.
We were
You're welcome.
we were in penthouse 5 area, which was where Ms. Heard had her office at the top of the stairs.
Mm.
And so the stairs came down, and then there was a landing, and then another set of stairs went down the opposite direction. This took place on the landing, where she was coming out, trying to get to me, trying to hit me, trying to do anything she could. And then Whitney, her sister, was there, who stepped in the way. And interesting thing that was interesting now is that Whitney stepped in front of Amber and was facing Amber to stop Amber. And when she was in between us, Amber snuck in she got the roundhouse in and just nailed me on the cheekbone.
Let's see.
Do
I
you
think
recall what Ms. Heard was upset about at this time?
I can make it a little
I
bit
do not,
clearer
you
if I do
And was anyone else in the
this.
in penthouse 5 with you and Whitney and Ms. Heard?
By that time, Mr. McGivern had been called. I believe that
Yeah.
actually Debbie, as I remember, Debbie Lloyd was at the front door of
Yeah.
penthouse 5, standing by the door. Mr. McGivern was
Thin pen.
kind of the bottom of the last group of stairs.
Yeah.
And then the thump happened, and I got myself out of the situation, and I walked down the stairs to Mr. McGivern just to say, let's get out of here, And I remember that something was thrown from up there. I don't recall what it was.
This over
But something
here.
was thrown at me. It seemed like it was like I don't know if it was a bag of like pens or it was from her
Once
office
there.
area.
Draw.
If we could please pull up Plaintiff's Exhibit 343.
Okay.
And for the record, this is an audio recording, and it's quite lengthy, so we intend to play
Close
certain
to-
portions of it.
This color. Yeah.
No objection.
No objection other than just like to know when.
Around in there. Yeah, that would be about the right
entire
color.
audio is in evidence, correct?
Yes.
There's no objection.
And,
Okay. All right,
And
343 in evidence.
If you'd like me to read the specific minutes now, or we can provide it to counsel.
fill
Okay,
it
if you want to
in.
just go, okay.
We
Here.
intend to play minute 25, 37 seconds through 26, 28. 1 hour and 57 minutes, 21 seconds through 1 hour, 58 minutes, 54 seconds. 2 hours, 38 minutes, 52 seconds through, 2 hours, 38, 52 seconds through 2 hours, 39 minutes, 43 seconds. And then 2 hours,
And
46
for
minutes, 1
drawing,
second
we'll
through
use
2 hours, 47 minutes,
this
20
color
seconds.
or
Those are 4
better
plays. Okay. Thank you.
yet, use
No problem, Justice Breyer. I just- it's just audio.
color. Ooh, that's a pretty interesting color. Get the line is about right. And put more black in there.
It was okay. That's the promise you gave me a little while ago. I'm telling you, if you lost memory last night of kicking me out the door with the fucker hitting me,
Again,
and
sorry.
your memory is
Got her.
from
Got her little
you kicking the bathroom
her little
door and
meat
hitting me
pocket
across
over
the
here.
skull.
Again,
Now,
I am
wait.
sorry.
Draw a
If you
couple little
have
flies
those
flying around.
memory, fucking,
I was
divots.
upset. There was a lot going on,
Okay,
and I was
wait.
on an Ambien. Like, why are you obsessing over the fact I can't remember it?
Mhm.
I remembered it. I said I was sorry. I
Okay,
didn't
I
deny
know
it.
that. I'm not talking about that. What
Have we seen Baker lately? Yes. Doing art class today. Yeah. Nikki, yes, Baker was he did a morning stream, and then Dave took over for him on the same stream, and he actually came by and said hello to me during my afternoon stream for, I don't know, he was here for about a half hour or so hanging. It was really cool. I just made it an anniversary stream. So I got that out of the way, my 1 year anniversary for being on the YouTubers. It's pretty cool. Yes, do an art class today, of course. Mhm.
No, it's not to get you mad. It's not to, it's just to get out of a bad situation while it's happening before it gets worse. In Australia, when we had the big fight where I lost the tip of my finger, at least 5 bathrooms and 2 bedrooms I went to. To
To avoid talking to me. To
To
avoid
escape
working
the-
out. That's
to
the
escape
problem.
the fight.
You don't escape the fight. You escape the solution.
No.
You escape the solution.
No.
You escape figuring it out. We cannot work it out if you run away to the bathroom every time.
Listen to me. Listen to me. A boxer can't go 12 rounds without a fucking minute break.
I'm not giving you a minute break. You do it at minute 3 at the beginning of an argument.
No. There are rounds, man. And when it gets too fucking hairy, the ref splits them apart or whatever. But all I'm saying is you can't have a solution if the argument just keeps mounting and mounting and mounting and mounting. I
Gets
fucking
too
go
hairy,
into the
get it?
bathroom and sit on the floor. Bam, bam, bam. Here you come. I come out. Fight, crazy, escalated. I go split again. I go to another fucking bathroom or bedroom or something. Knock, knock, knock. Bang, bang, bang. You kept coming to get me.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, she wouldn't give him a minute reprieve. Pretty positive of that.
I'm not the one who fucking throws fucking pots and
Those are different. That's
whatever
different.
fucking else at me.
That's different. That's one does not negate the other. That's irrelevant. It's a complete non sequitur. Just because I've thrown pots and pans does not mean that you come and knock on the door. Just because there are vases does not mean that you come and knock on the door.
Really, I should just let you throw.
I'm not saying that. You're saying that. You're putting words in my mouth and then making
No,
non
I'm
sequiturs.
giving you a situation.
No, you're trying to justify how you don't or do come to the door
No,
based
I'm
on whether I throw
justifying-
pots and pans. It's
no,
irrelevant.
I'm justifying how you seem to think that there's this cowardice in me that runs away and I don't fight for you.
And you're justifying that by saying I throw pots and pans. Okay, cool. Let's
No,
talk about everything you do wrong.
I'm not the one who.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah, cray cray comes out. So wicked.
I said to Travis, I said to you, hey, tell Travis what just happened.
Oh, you told me to do it. You told me to. You said, go do that.
I said, no, tell him what just
And
happened.
I lied.
And that you punched me in
You're
the
right.
fucking thing.
You figured it out.
And you said, no, fuck no, dude, what the fuck are you talking about? And I
I didn't
watched
punch
you
you.
lie. And then
I didn't punch you, by
no,
the way. I'm sorry that I didn't hit you across the face in a proper slap, but I was hitting you. It was not punching you. Babe, you're not punched.
Don't tell me what it feels like to be punched.
You know, even a lot of
Yeah,
fights have been around
this
a
is
long
what
time.
did it.
I know. Yeah,
No,
I-
when we fucking have a close.
you didn't get punched. You got hit. I'm sorry I hit you like this, but I did not punch you. I did not fucking deck you. I fucking was hitting you. I don't know what the motion of my actual hand was, but you're fine. I did not hurt you. I did not punch you. I was hitting you. What am I supposed to do? Do this? I'm not sitting here bitching about it, am I? You are. That's the difference between me and you. You're a fucking baby.
How about don't
What?
hit
What's a
him
big-
either? Keep your hands to
Oh,
yourself,
Johnny.
bitch.
I did start a physical
Yeah,
fight.
you did, so I had
Because-
to get the fuck out of there.
Yes, you did. So you did the right thing, the big thing. You know what? You're admirable.
Jesus.
Mr. Depp, could you please explain to the jury what they just heard on those audio recordings?
Heard cray
What
cray.
was displayed on the audio recordings was very much the tone and the aggression and the attitude and the need for a fight from Ms. Heard. That was, I don't know if that was some need for attention, but I don't. That was a sound that I had gotten very used to. The squabbling, the
Mm.
you know, the raising of the voice to essentially excommunicate anything that I had to say about the situation. But then, and I do remember that incident. I believe that's from the when I was in the bathroom. And I was in fact taking a shower, and this was in penthouse 3. And she came banging on the door, banging on the door, banging on the door. I didn't answer. I was in the shower. I couldn't deal with it. I didn't want to deal with any more of that
Oh yeah.
sarcastic, demeaning, aggressive, violent, toxic spew. And so I was taking a shower and I didn't want to answer the door. She kept banging. And then I finally got out of the shower and I opened the bathroom door about just that much, just so I could have a good hold on the door in case she tried to burst in. And I was right, she did.
Just StreamYard's acting all funky for me. Give me just a second. I want to
So,
restart.
she was pushing.
Okay.
It won't take but a second.
No nervous. Got my little poopy sidekick. It's actually pudding. It's not poop. See? Yeah. Yeah. Shizzy, I see you. You're just cracking up in the background.
So was. I was like, what the hell is she doing over there? Oh,
I'm eating some chocolate ice cream. Some
Eating
chocolate
some-
soft serve. Leave me alone.
some chocolate ice cream. Tasty.
I love when you do that voice. It's my favorite.
So creepy. Oh
Dude,
my
my
gosh.
skin is so freaking dry because of this weather. I
I could
hate
say
it.
so many things. I could say so many
My
things.
skin gets super dry in the winter. Sucks. My lips are chapped.
Drink more
Terrible.
water. Drink more water.
I have
That
been
helps.
drinking water.
Well, I haven't been. My skin doesn't get dry.
Well, good for you, asshole.
Actually, it does get dry. Just had to be an asshole. Asshole.
Okay.
all the weight on the door trying to get in. And I was pushing back because I didn't want to let her in because I obviously didn't want the confrontation. She was not in best of moods. You can hear. So when I was pushing the bathroom door, trying to close it, and was almost closed, she suddenly kind of yelped in pain. And she screamed out, "Ow, my toes or my foot or something." And so in that second, I thought possibly her foot had gotten caught under the door, which would, of course, not feel great on the foot or the toes. So I thought she was maybe injured. So I knelt down to have a look. The door was still, it was still pretty well about that much open. And when I knelt down on my hands and knees to look at her foot to see the injury, she kicked the bathroom door into my head. Yeah, she kicked the bathroom door into my head, and I was completely taken aback by such a corrosive, horrific move. So I stood up, and I believe I stood up, and but at this point the door was open. I stood up and I said, I think I said, what the fuck was that? What the fuck was that? And the next move was just a bang, and just she clocked me in the jaw. And another talker.
How
So
long
she-
after that did you start recording?
Sorry,
How long after that did you start recording that audio recording that we just heard?
that audio recording was about
She's acting like, I didn't do this.
her
I didn't do this.
trying to make less of what had
I
happened.
don't know if she did or not.
In fact, trying to make less of what had happened by repeating some story to me that didn't make any sense. And it certainly didn't make any sense since I was there and I was the target. So I wanted some confirmation from someone with some semblance of a mind that could understand what was happening. I wanted Mr. McGivern to come up, and I asked her to tell him what had just happened. And her answer was essentially, I don't know what he's talking about. Nothing happened. He's fine. And once again,
Don't be such a
I told
baby,
Mr. McGivern,
Johnny.
time to leave the premises.
Also, him and Crybaby was awesome.
Mr. Depp, I'd like to show you now what's been marked as plaintiff's exhibit.
Have you ever seen
162.
Crybaby?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was fun.
can take this down. Thank you. Could you pull up Plaintiff's Exhibit 92, please?
No,
Mr. Depp, what is this
exhibits.
a picture of?
That's a photograph of the blade of an old, like a Bowie knife. That's the photograph of the blade with an inscription on it to me from Ms. Heard, who at the time I referred to as Slim.
Your Honor,
it's-
we'd like to move Exhibit 90, Plaintiff's Exhibit 92 into evidence. Mr. Depp, what does it say on this knife?
Hasta la muerte,
And what does that mean?
until death,
And then what does it say after that?
XX Slim,
And who is Slim?
Ms. Heard.
When did Ms. Heard give you this knife?
When did she give him that knife? Because that means a lot.
All right, your next witness.
Oh shoot, I didn't know we were starting yet. Wait, almost got it. Perfect spot.
Okay, could you please state your full name?
Yeah, I am Jason Momoa.
Mr. Momoa, do you know Amber Heard?
I do. Hi, Amber.
Don't talk to her. So how do you know Amber?
We work together on Aquaman.
So you work together as actors, right?
No, as janitors.
Mr. Momoa, you have to take this serious. He's not a janitor, he's actually Aquaman. Would you say you felt safe around Amber on the set?
Sure, I guess.
So there was not even one incident.
Well, I wouldn't say that.
Why? What happened?
Well, Amber and I were in the pool recording the scene. It was just the two of us. And she pointed at the water and said, "Look at that beautiful brown fish."
So what seems to be the issue? I'm not following.
Any wildlife in the water would be computerized, so that was a brown fish.
I don't understand. What was it?
Well, it was, shall I say, Amber's turn.
Mr. Momoa, how do you even know what that was? Did you even take a picture of Amber's Heard?
No, I didn't.
So do you have any evidence?
Well, I made a replica. Yeah, here it is. No. Does that look like a fish? Nope. Man, how did that even come out of her body? Oh, man.
Sorry, I couldn't help it. I'm so bad. It's a blast from the past. Yeah. Crybaby's a blast from the past.
Well, it was a present from Ms. Heard. I believe it was around 2015.
I'm sorry.
This down and pull up
That's
Plaintiff's Exhibit
not an
92.
abnormal thing though, to get somebody a nice knife.
Mr. Depp, what
know.
is this a photograph of?
That's the knife in full view. That's the full side of that knife.
Plaintiffs would
Of
move
course, if I'm not
Plaintiff's Exhibit
mistaken, isn't
92
that the same knife that she stabbed into the bed and broke part of the bed?
Mr. Depp, do you recall the occasion?
I
on
think
which Amber
so.
Gave you this knife?
I don't recall exactly the occasion, whether it was my birthday of 2015 or if it was a Christmas gift.
You can take this down, please. Thank you. Mr. Depp, I'd now like to show you what's been marked as Plaintiff's Exhibit 65.
Yamaha biker. Yes, it was a parody.
And I believe this has already been offered into evidence. If so, if we could please publish to the jury. Thank you. Mr. Depp,
Yeah.
what's reflected in these photographs?
There were some scratches, another altercation, and there were some misheard come at me with her nails, her hand scratching at me.
You know, and see that's where I think that Courtney plenty. That's where he would have ended up if he had stayed with her, I think.
Probably. I've said that before. Like, she probably would have taken it to that point.
Yeah. And then said he was attacking her. You know. She's cuckoo.
Thought
Yeah,
about that.
Who took these
Yeah.
photographs of you?
Once again, I believe this was Mr. Bett, Sean Bett.
And when were these photographs taken?
Seems to be Christmas, or 10 days before Christmas, the 15th of December 2015.
Mr. Depp, do you remember what led to you having these scratches on your face?
This was yet again another confrontation where, as was my regular practice, there had been an altercation. She was she had some rage issue with me, and I remember that I was trying to go to my corner, as it were, which is I was going into my office in penthouse 3, which is upstairs, and as I was approaching the door to my office, Miss Heard ran out of the master bedroom, or bedroom, and started just throwing wild punches at me, at the back of my head, at the side of my head, at anything that she could connect with, and I had to, I would have to show you sort of how I tried to avoid the attack, if it's all right.
Yes, yes, sir.
If I'm walking this way to the door of my office, the bedroom door is where you are. I'd walked across the mezzanine there, and as I'm approaching the door, suddenly I'm just getting clobbered from behind, and one's natural primal instinct is to kind of duck and cover. So I ducked and covered, but they didn't stop. So I came up this like this, sort of protecting my face, but at the same time, with her arms swinging wildly, I put my arms up, and I was able to get her into a bear hug, just to stop her from hitting me anymore. And while holding her in that position, she was still
this part of his testimony, I don't find
she had her legs, she had her
very
she could
believable.
kick, she could knee me.
I'm sure
so
that,
she was still
that they argued, and she may have
you know,
attacked him a couple of times, but
very angry, very animated.
I don't know. I just didn't find this
And,
too believable.
yeah, it was unpleasant.
What happened at the end of that situation?
Because of the grabbing of the arms and holding them to her side, so that I didn't receive any more blows, and she was still fighting. I believe there was some kind of contact with our heads, our foreheads, as would happen if you're trying to calm someone like that. And then that was when she accused me of headbutting her, of giving her a headbutt and breaking her nose. But there was no blood. There was no. I didn't hit her nose. If there was anything at all, it was a bump of. Well, I'm trying to restrain her. She's trying to get out of it. There's going to be some contact here and there, accidental contact, but not a headbutt.
How did you escape this altercation?
After she'd made the remark about the fact that I headbutted her, which was just impossible, she split. She huffed off. I let her go. She huffed away, and she was gone for about 7 or 8 minutes. And then when she came back, I was in the bedroom of penthouse 3, our bedroom, and she came back about 7 or 8 minutes later. She had a Kleenex or a tissue to her nose, and she pulled it away from her nose and she showed it to me, and there was red. There was indeed like red color on the tissue. But me, I know that there was no connection to her nose. No part of my body made connection to her nose or eyes or anything like. So she said, she took it away and she showed it to me. She said, "Way to go, Johnny, you broke my nose. You broke my nose." And I knew I hadn't. So I said, you go into sort of placation mode, which is, "Oh my God, let me see. Are you okay? What happened? Let me see." And she wouldn't let me see anything. And so I just tried to calm the situation as best I could. All the while, I was waiting for her to dispense with that Kleenex because I didn't trust it. And so I waited, and when she dropped it into the wastebasket in her bathroom, or in our bathroom, and left the room, went somewhere downstairs, I think, I don't know. And then I pulled the Kleenex out of the trash bin, and I inspected it pretty closely and realized that it was nail polish. It was nail varnish or polish.
Mr. Depp, shortly after December 15th, 2015, where did you and Ms. Heard go for the holidays?
It had been planned for a while that we would be going to the island, and we would be going to the island with my kids, Lily Rose and Jack, and Lily Rose's boyfriend at the time. There's a friend of Amber's called Alice Temperley, I believe her name is, and her boyfriend Greg Williams, who's a very well-known photographer, and both very nice people, and their kids were going. She told me they were going to come to the island, and I thought, okay, great. And so yeah, that's where we went for the holidays.
And what happened on the island in December 2015?
Many things. But,
Was there any violence by Ms. Heard against you?
oh yes, there were a couple of incidents that were, again, just each time one of these incidents would occur, it seemed to get worse and worse. That is to say, as opposed to fists or anything like that. I'd set up on the back porch of the house. I'd set up an area with an easel and oil paints and a can of mineral spirits, linseed oil, brushes, everything, so that she wanted to paint. So I had set it up for her. And again, I remember I was sitting at the table where most of the paintbrushes and the can and all that stuff was. And the argument, again, escalated, and she simply reached down and grabbed the can of mineral spirits and chucked it at my face. She threw it at my face, and it struck me right at the bridge of the nose, sort of the forehead, bridge of the nose area, and it hurt.
Who else was around when this happened?
Well, thankfully, my children and Lily Rose's boyfriend were over towards the cafe. At that point, I didn't know that anyone else was around or had witnessed anything. I thought it was just Amber and I, but apparently there are 4 staff who work on the island.
I don't think it's hearsay. I don't think it's statements yet. You can go ahead and continue your answer, sir.
Okay.
Sorry, the staff that work on your island, Mr. Depp.
Yeah. So there are indeed 4 staff who work on the island and live there all year round, who take care of everything, and 2 of them happen to be in that area and witnessed the violence.
I need an island.
Unless you lay a foundation, how you would know
Certainly.
that if it was not hearsay.
Mr. Depp, how do you know that these staff
Just a-
members
just a
witnessed
small
part of this
one.
altercation?
You know, couple hundred
These people,
acres.
as I said, there's staff on the island, though I consider them family and very dear to me. And I believe it is mutual.
Yeah,
I've known
I
them
know
for a
it
very long
is.
time. They were visibly shaken by what they witnessed.
Objection.
Again, if you can lay a foundation, if he saw them there, or if this is something.
Mr. Depp, did you see any of these individuals shortly after you had this altercation with Ms. Heard?
No, that's not the proper. Did he see them as actually there? If he didn't, if it's something they told him, then it's hearsay.
Mr. Depp, did you see any of your staff members at the house when you and Ms. Heard had that altercation?
Once Ms. Heard had stormed off,
Yeah.
sort of sat there dazed and confused for a few minutes, and then I walked around the house, and I saw Tara and
That's fine. All right, I'll sustain the objection. We'll move on.
You mentioned Tara. Who's Tara?
Tara's the manager of the island.
Mr. Depp, I'd like to discuss April 2016 now. When is Ms. Heard's birthday?
22nd of April.
And in 2016, how was Ms. Heard celebrating her birthday?
We'd set up a dinner for her, which was, she wanted to have a dinner with all her friends, and Josh, Drew, Rocky's boyfriend, who was some sort of chef, he asked her what she would like for him to cook. That's hearsay, I guess.
I know, I just sure offer for the truth of the matter, sir.
You got it.
Okay, all right, well then.
I'm learning.
Here you go.
Let me put it a different way. Mr. Drew, who was a chef, I don't believe it's hearsay. Mr. Drew had made Mexican food Ms. Heard's favorite. Is that better?
And what were you doing before Ms. Heard's birthday celebration?
Smart ass.
I had been in a room
Loaded.
many hours with a group of accountants, new accountants, and they were going through essentially the situation that I was in financially, which was a real shock to me. I had no idea, and I know this sounds ridiculous, but I prefer to think of the work as opposed to how much I'm getting paid. So I had no idea how much money I'd made. I just didn't. I just figured if I was working, it was money, so everything would be all right. They informed me that I had been quite an inordinate amount of sum of money had been was gone. It had disappeared, and after having worked 30-something years in the industry, I'm sorry, I could hear Ms. Brett.
You're fine. Go ahead.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
I was pretty shocked at where I was to learn I was exactly financially. And it was a very long meeting. And I knew, of course, that Ms. Heard's birthday dinner was to start at, I believe, 8:30. And I texted her a number of times from the meeting saying, this is probably going to go long, and I think I might be a little late. I'm sorry, but it's important, and I'm going to be a bit late for the dinner. And I apologized all over the place. And so when I left and picked up something at the house, which I believe was her gift, on the way downtown, I received a text from Ms. Heard asking me to bring, asked if I could bring some wine and some weed. And I texted back, sure. And then by the time I got to, arrived at Penthouse 5 for the party, I was about an hour and 40 minutes late, maybe, something like that.
Before you arrived, how many drinks had you had?
Oh, I think I'd had a glass of wine with, there was one bottle of wine that Ed White had brought to the meeting that between, I don't know how many, 5 or 6 of us, we had
Hey, Turpy. How's it
had a glass of
going?
wine.
Could you tell the jury who
Good
Ed
to
White is?
see you,
Oh,
man.
yeah, sorry. Ed White was at the time, he was my new business manager. And he was quite a, he was quite a professional, nearly forensic business manager. And he had shown
Nailed
me things that from my former business managers that were quite disturbing.
You're saying.
I believe he said he showed him.
Yes, I looked at papers. Maybe they're hearsay papers. I don't know.
I believe he was being
Yes.
shown financial documents.
All right. So I'll say this and hearsay that might be
Understood.
Next question.
Mr. Depp, when you arrived at the party, how did Ms. Heard greet you with it all?
With a baseball
Very
bat.
cold.
What did she say to you?
Not much. Not much. Except occasionally she would tear herself from the conversation that she was in just to lean towards me. I was sitting to her right, and I would get a quick earful of, I can't believe you've done this to me on my birthday. I can't believe, I'm so embarrassed. You know, which I found odd because I'd kept her informed all day. And the last text that I'd received was a request for wine and marijuana. So when I got there and received that attitude, what could I do? So I just made the best of it and talked to her friends, and because they were all her friends except for, I believe, Nurse Erin. Erin was there, I believe.
What's Aaron's last name?
Erin Borum, Nurse Erin, who had been the nurse assigned to Miss Heard.
Wow.
So I just had conversations.
So she had her own private nurse
makeup
too.
Artist, Melanie Iglesias was there.
Makeup artist, everything for her
remember
birthday,
speaking
which
French
is
to them.
fine. I mean, but damn,
And I didn't really,
brought you wine and weed.
wasn't feeling it.
I wouldn't
Did
be
you have any drinks
complaining.
once you arrived at the birthday party?
Wine.
How many glasses?
A couple of half pints.
Maybe two, because they were like large, the large sort of Bordeaux
Mega pints.
glasses. So maybe two glasses of wine. By the time it started to wind down,
How many drinks did you observe Miss Heard consume after you arrived at the party?
I really couldn't say because all I saw was just she was drinking wine.
And did it seem to you that she'd been drinking wine prior to your arrival?
I was sure, since I was an hour and 40 minutes late, that Miss Heard was well into the wine before I got there. Yes, certainly.
How did the party come to an end?
It was kind of, one person would say, "Well, I better get out of here," and then two more couples or two more people would say, "Yeah, time to go." And then it just wound down. There was Mr. Drew, Miss Pennington, Whitney, possibly Whitney. And that was about it. It was sort of left there.
And what happened after the guests left the party?
She was free to commence with the usual verbal barrage, and at that point, there was so much in my head from the meeting. I thought it was a bit much that Miss Heard had. I'm sorry, it seemed quite brattish. It seemed quite childish that Miss Heard was holding such a grudge against me for having been late to her 30th birthday party, when she knew very well, she was well informed that I was in an intense meeting that had a lot to do with not just my life and my future, but my children's. And I didn't know what was going to happen. I didn't know what was going to happen. I didn't know if houses were going to start going away. I didn't. So it felt. I'm sure, of course, she felt something, but it felt unfair. It felt small comparatively. If your loved one or your husband has had some very serious issues brought before him. So when she engaged in her normal kind of banter of trying to poke at me and get me to.
That would suck so bad to have that kind of meeting, like right after you've, like, so it's your wife's birthday, and you've got business that you have to deal with on your wife's birthday. Veilhammer, what is up, brother?
Yo, I love Veilhammer.
Yeah,
So much.
It's awesome.
Oh,
But
wait,
to
Kaiser.
have this just dump on you, hey y'all, dropping in to punch that like and drop a comment and chat. Just gonna lurk tonight, feeling under the weather today. Oh, sorry to hear that, man. Really, that
Hope you
sucks.
feel better.
Yeah, get to feeling better, man. That's never fun. It's never fun. I've been there. Just yeah. It's crazy. So yeah, I was sitting there thinking, could you imagine having to be late for your significant other's, birthday party that's sort of been planned out, and you want to be there on time, but because this meeting ends up running long, and you're still sending texts to them saying, hey, sorry, this meeting's running long, I'll be there, I know all your friends are there, I'll be bringing some extra wine and weed. And you get there, and then I can understand them being a little bit upset to start out with, but then just sort of be like, all right, well, they did make it. There's the night is still young. This party's going to go on for quite some time, and just sort of get over it. That's how I would deal with it. Just be like, yeah, I'll get over it. Just looking at it, if I were the herd turd, I'd be a little upset, I think, but I think I would get over it. After a bit, just be like, yeah, screw it. He's here now, or she's here now, whatever, and move on. Hell, I want to say, was it 2 years ago? My wife had a conference that she had to go to, so I celebrated my birthday at home by myself. Well, I had the pups, and made myself a nice big fat juicy steak and watched a bunch of like really horrible movies and thanks Turkey, I appreciate it. And talked to my wife on my birthday, and I just chilled. I was like, I think I streamed that the night before. Yeah. No, that was last year. That was this year I did that. But the year prior, I just chilled. Nothing. I think I might have played some video games or something. Hell, I don't remember. But it just ended up being another day. Her getting all upset. Screw her. Screw her and her bright red nose.
React. I literally just got into bed. I remember the television was on, and I was reading, and I suppose Miss Heard was down in her area taking off her makeup and changing into sleep clothes, whatever, and she entered the bedroom while I was laying on my side of the bed reading, and she was still rattling off all the wrongs I'd done
yeah,
to her in that particular
sounds right.
day, and how unreliable I am, and what a horrible person I was. And I did not engage verbally, nothing. I sat there or laid there reading my book, and when she didn't get a jump out of me or a jolt out of me, she got out of bed, she walked around the bed, she came to my side, and again, it's you've got a person who is throwing multiple shots at your face, at your head, at your neck, at anything she could hit. So I got up out of bed, and I grabbed her by the shoulders, and I sat her down on the bed. And I said,
got out the paper and smacked her on the nose and said,
"Don't get off the bed. Please
bad
don't follow
girl.
me. Please don't try and stop me.
Bad girl.
I'm leaving."
Don't pee on the
And
bed.
she got up off the bed, and she squared off at me in the doorway of our bedroom. And I said, what do you want to do? Hit me again? Would you like to hit me again? And I said, go ahead, hit me. And then I just said, is that what you wanted? Would you like another? Bam. There's the second one. And I said, good, now you're done. Grabbed her by the shoulders, walked her to the bed, sat her down, and said, don't follow me. Leave me alone. I'm out. I'm gone. I went, I grabbed a few things, and I got out immediately, and I went to my other house on Sweetser. As Ms. Heard she was leaving the following day.
Yeah,
for,
pretty much.
Coachella. Coachella is it's a big event, a concert. Many bands, and out in the desert. She and her friends were going to Coachella for the weekend, and that was it. That was it.
Mr. Depp, after April 21st, 2016, when was the next time that you actually saw Ms. Heard in person?
Oh, my wife felt
I left
worse
Mrs.
about it than I
Heard
did. I mean, I'm cool. Just it was like perfect night for me. That's what I'm saying. It was like chilling,
on, it was actually
Have
April,
a big,
it was actually
big
her birthday.
fat
for
juicy steak. I
4:30
think
in
I
the
sat
morning,
out by the fire
April
pit,
22nd.
smoked a cigar, and
And that's when I left. And from
it was a
that
good
moment
happy
on,
birthday.
I
I
did not
really don't
see
like people going out of their way for
Ms.
me
Heard
either.
until
You know,
May 21st.
And why was
I
that?
just give them that opportunity. You know, my wife, she likes to do a little bit more on my birthday and stuff. So
I
I
received
try to
some
be
news
accommodating to her.
that was as absurd and grotesque and cruel. And I was shown a picture of what the problem was. I had gone to Mr. Bett and said, she's in Coachella. She's at Coachella. I think it's a good time to go downtown so that I can get some of my things, you know, and get them out of there, especially the things that were precious to me, you know, children things from friends, Brando, Hunter, Thompson, whatever, things that were important to me. And he said, I don't think now's a good time to go. And I thought, it's the perfect time. She's not going to be home for 2 days. And then
Yeah.
he showed me a photograph on his telephone.
Yeah, she was.
Objection, Your Honor. Also understand.
It's a photograph, Your Honor.
As being relayed to him by Mr. Bett.
Yeah,
he
this
looked at
was-
it on his phone.
I'll rule the objection as the photograph.
What was the photograph of, Mr. Depp?
It was a photograph of the bed, our bed, and on my side of the bed was human fecal matter. So I understood why it wasn't a good time to go down there. My initial response to that was, I mean, I laughed. It was so outside. It was so bizarre and so grotesque that I could only laugh. So I did not go down there that day.
That
Mr.
face.
Depp, how was your mother's health during this time?
Look at that face. She's just like,
Not
Oh.
good, not good at all. My mom was in
Gotta write something
She's
else
silent.
down
and
so
Yep.
she can refute
she
it
was
mhm.
with her bullshit.
she was on her way out. She was dying.
How
She-
often were you going to see her during this time?
Excuse me.
How often were you going to see her during this time?
As much as I could under the circumstances. When I did go and get to see my mom, she was pretty much incapable of speech. Her speech had left her. At that time, she seemed to, her eyes were still open, and she could kind of react with her eyes, but she couldn't speak. And then not long after that, once her eyes closed, she lay there for the duration of her life, which ended on the 20th of May, the night before I saw Ms. Heard for the last time. Well, essentially.
I'm so sorry, Mr. Depp, but how did your mother's death affect you?
As it would anyone, I suppose. There was one thing that I couldn't fathom was, I mean, I brought my kids to see Betty Sue in the hospital, and at that time she was not functioning. She was not responsive. She was alive still. She was fighting still inside, but she was lying in the bed. And what, excuse this analogy, but all I could think of was how if she's conscious if she's conscious of everything that's going on around her, but has no ability to speak, has no ability to move, I knew that the one thing, as far as Betty Sue was concerned, the last thing that she would have wanted was to have ended up lying there on a what it was like. There's my mom lying there on a deli platter, and it was a horrible image. But I brought my kids in to say goodbye, and we all spoke into her ear, and then she passed away later. So it was
It's awesome.
painful, but there was some side of it too, at least to me, that in a way it was. I was happy for her.
Why was
Because
that?
I can't imagine Betty Sue or my mom. I can't imagine anyone lying there in quite possibly was a kind of a locked-in syndrome. And if she's surrounded by 10 people looking at her lying there in that on that deli platter, if you will, I was happy for her that she was out of pain, out of frustration, out of. I was happy that she moved. Not happy. I was relieved that she was no longer in that situation. Though, when those you love
But missing her.
leave, we're the ones. stuck
God,
with
this
the-
is all 1.5.
with the pain, with the grieving. But I was glad that my kids got to see her and give her send off, I suppose. And but it was no. It opened my eyes quite a lot to a number of things.
Ragging.
And what were some of those things that your mother's death opened your eyes to?
I love him, but it's dragging.
That life is a bird song. That
Yeah.
That what feels like 100 years is in fact a second, millisecond. Nobody can count those things. So I had made peace with Betty Sue because I understood where she came from, and I understood how difficult her childhood was, and I understood that she had not had the proper training or proper teaching or the proper background to be anything other than what she had been when we were younger. I forgave her for all that, as one should. So I was. It opened my eyes to the fact that yes, try in relationships, whether friendships, whether courtships, whether marriage, whether this, whether that. Try your best to try. If it's not going to work, it's not going to work. And more importantly, if you're going to get out of it, if you're going to make an end, which I had decided that it was somebody had to call it, and I decided that I would call Amber and tell her that my mom had died that day. And then I very calmly said, look, I've made a decision and I think it's the best thing. I'm going to file for divorce, but I'm not going to cite irreconcilable differences. I'm not going to cite any violence. I'm going to state this. We simply, the two of us, we simply don't want to feel as though we have a collar around each other's neck and a leash attached to it, and then this piece of paper that proves that that's true. So what I thought was best was we want to end this in love and take the idea of ownership of one another out of the picture, and that's how I approached Miss Heard with that. And
So why did you go over to the?
Like a male feminist. Damn it, Johnny. See, he was trying to be nice. He's trying to white knight, like take his licks and move on. If he would have just said, you know what? Screw you. You're out. Go down. File for divorce. Get the hell out. That's what he should have done. Said, fuck this shit. I'm out. That's what he should have done. Just
Yep.
None of the because she wasn't going to let that go. You think she's going to let that go? She couldn't let it go any other time. It's rough, man.
Penthouses on May 21st, 2016.
Ms. Heard requested that I come over to have a talk, to explain. She wanted to explain things, and so I went there. And I also wanted to gather up some of those things, precious things that you live with. So I went over there to have a discussion, what I thought would be calm understanding. And I figured she understood as well as I did that there was no way back. And I also felt that she would understand that it was the best thing for both of us. And there were no, there was nothing to, there should have been nothing to fight over. It was clear. I told her that I would take care of her and all that. And then she, she was telling me about she brought up the situation of the fecal matter on the bed. And and she just tried to blame it on the dogs. But
Why didn't you think it could have been the dogs?
The dogs weigh, they're teacup Yorkies. They weigh about 4 pounds each. The photograph that I saw, I mean, I lived with those dogs for many years. And so did Hilda Vargas. She's a woman who's been with me for 30 plus years, you know, from the very beginning. And she was the one who photographed it. It was clear she knew the dogs as well as I did. That was none of that did not come from a dog. I just didn't.
Mr. Depp, could we back up a little bit? Who went over to the penthouses with you on May 21st?
I went to the penthouses with
Like how he's doing this.
Jerry Judge and Sean Depp.
See, I'm noticing it now that they keep getting there and then they back off and they go back to something else.
Mm-hmm.
And then they go there again just to see, because I think they're pushing it really slow, sort of just easing it out there, and then all of a sudden plop, and they can't put the cat back in the bag once it comes out, because you notice they've gone back to the penthouse. The fecal matter happened on the island.
Yeah.
And they've like gotten there and then just backed off, and gotten there and then backed off. And I think the jury is like, what's up with this fecal matter? Now they've got him curious.
And I had asked them on the just in case, please pay particular attention. Stay as close to
Hal says now they're
going
gonna have to bring in its herd expert to prove it wasn't the dog.
Yep.
Security shack or whatever it was. Come, don't linger. Get back, because if you hear anything, if you hear screaming, you got to get in there. So leave the door unlocked and spring in there if you hear something.
Why did you want them to be able to get into the penthouse quickly if they heard anything?
Just based on my past experiences with Miss Heard, when you say something that she either didn't agree with or swore up and down that it was a complete falsity and there was something wrong with me, I'm crazy, and the escalation. If anything was going to start to escalate,
She's probably laughing inside, going,
so
I left turd on his bed.
To get in there in case anything went down.
So when you walked into the penthouse, what did you see?
When I first walked into the penthouses, you walk in and then make a left, drop, and then you're in the kitchen area. And then beyond that, Grumpy, the living room, pardon the term, onto the bed, sitting there on the couch. And I went over to talk. I went and sat down on the couch. She was sitting on the couch. Was kind of a square or a half square. She was sitting on one side of the couch. I was sitting on the other. That's when she was trying to explain a few things about Coachella.
It's about the size of that
fecal delivery, and saying that it was the dogs. And I'm sorry, I could not agree with her. I'd lived with those dogs. I picked up their fun. It was not the dogs. And so what happened was, I said, let's call Kevin Murphy.
Who's Kevin Murphy?
Kevin Murphy had been. He was in Los Angeles. He was the house manager over the places in West Hollywood, and he was also taking care of the penthouses downtown. If any work needed to be done or this or that, and he would schedule the girls who'd come in, the ladies like Hilda, to
You can
There
tell
was-
she's getting uncomfortable right now. She's
we
like,
had
I
a
just want to get
conversation
back in the
with Miss
bathroom
Heard.
right now.
Here's Your Honor.
Let's move beyond the conversation that Kevin
Certainly.
Murphy had with Ms. Heard. So after you called Kevin Murphy, what happened?
He's laughing, just like,
I asked Kevin if Amber and he had spoken about the incident. He said, yes, they had. Okay. And usually Miss Heard had told
Here's Your Honor.
I'm not sure.
This is apparently a statement by
it
Ms.
is
Heard.
hearsay.
That he heard from Kevin Murphy. That's what the testimony is.
All right, if you want to reframe that, that's fine.
When did you hang up the phone with Kevin Murphy?
Left a big grumpy on her bed.
Right about the time that Miss Heard was screaming obscenities at him and calling him a liar and that he was a scumbag. And I told her, I said, listen, don't speak to this man that way. Do not disrespect this man in that way. And then Kevin Murphy just hung up. And so at that point, she was riled, of course. And I went upstairs to gather belongings. When I came back downstairs, she was on the phone with Io Tillett, right, and they were making a wonderful point of just how funny it was that I thought that some human being had actually dropped a grumpy, pardon the term, onto the bed, and they were yucking it up. They were laughing about the whole thing, and it was you know, it was a tough couple of days, and I really didn't feel like I deserved that kind of treatment. And I went over and I said, let me talk to her. I grabbed the phone and I said to Io, you can have her now. She's yours. She's all yours. Right? And then I took the phone and I just bang like that onto that side of the couch was 8 feet long. The other side of the couch was about 6 feet long. I flopped it onto the couch and I was walking towards the kitchen to exit, and then suddenly Rocky Pennington ran in to the penthouse and started, leave her alone, Johnny, leave her alone. And I was by the refrigerator at this point. I was 20 feet away.
Where was Ms. Heard at that time?
She was still sitting on the couch. And that's when the screaming, the screaming started with, like, again, I'm 20 feet away. She's still got Io on the phone. She's got Rocky there. Stop hitting me, Johnny, she's screaming in her best freaked out, upset voice, high-pitched. Stop hitting me. Jerry Judge and Sean Bett entered the room. And as they entered the room, and she was quite surprised to see them, she said, that's the last time you'll ever hit me. That's the last time you'll ever do that to me. And again, I'm a good 20 feet away by the fridge. And then Jerry said, boss, I think we should just leave. And then we left. That was the last time I saw Miss Heard until she asked me to break the restraining order. Or not break the restraining order. Break the restraining order and talk to her in July later.
Mr. Depp, where did you go after you left the penthouses on May 21st?
I went home.
To which home?
Oh, to Sweetser.
And then where did you go? Where did you go after you went home to Sweetser?
I was due to, I had to go to, I had to catch a flight to New York, where we were doing, this group, the Hollywood Vampires, we were about to set out on a tour.
We're not the
tour
same.
Of Europe, and we were rehearsing in New York, and then we played one
Closed.
show in New York as a warm-up gig, and then we were on the plane, and we started the shows in Europe. And I was on the road from then, which was May, through July.
Most more than likely.
Okay. All right, thank you. Let's go ahead and take our after.
Oh.
Ladies and gentlemen, please do not do any outside research and do not discuss it.
Well, that's all right. That's all right, Nikki. Leave the shindig, give the pillow some head, and so sweet dreams, and love you guys. Thank you very much. You take care of yourself and get
Good
yourself
one,
a little
Nikki.
bit of rest.
Oh yeah, T-Rex. I'm keeping the audio avatar. It's not leaving.
And you saw this one, right? That's the updated one. So it's close, but not identical.
Yep.
We're not twinsies. Mine's the more feminine one. You can tell by the voice.
All right.
Oh yeah, totally.
Your next question, ma'am.
Thank you. Mr. Depp, I'd like to show you another audio recording that is Plaintiff's Exhibit 397. And for the record, we intend to play the portion that is 1 hour, 4 seconds to 1 hour, 2 minutes, and 50 seconds.
All right. So there's no objection to 397 coming into evidence in its entirety. Okay. Are you coming 397 into evidence, and then you want to play that part? It's fine.
Well, those wishes don't come true. Those wishes don't come true. I wish you the best.
Hey, why don't you fuck yourself? Go suck your own dick. Oh, I'll write you a check for the extra sip I took. Is that okay? Stingy old fucking piece of shit.
You're the one that brought it up.
You did.
Wow.
It's mine.
I missed this one. I'm gonna have to slow that down because that was pretty damn harsh. Holy crap. Bring the audio up on that. Man, I missed this one. This is a pretty screwed up audio tape. Wow.
All right. Thank you. All right. Your next question, ma'am.
Thank you. Mr. Depp, I'd like to show you another audio recording that is Plaintiff's Exhibit 397. And for the record, we intend to play the portion that is 1 hour, 4 seconds to 1 hour, 2 minutes, and 50 seconds.
All right. So there's no objection to 397 coming into evidence in its entirety.
So that means that this was recorded well over an hour. Like almost 2 hour recording of them arguing back and forth and bickering.
Mhm.
That is so toxic. I didn't notice that before.
Okay. Are you coming 397 into evidence, and then you want to play that part? It's fine.
Well, those wishes don't come true. Those wishes don't come true.
Wow. It's just like, got anything else you want to say to me, you piece of shit? Got anything else you want to say to me, piece of shit? And he's just like, those wishes don't come true. And she's just like over and over again.
You know what I mean? That's it. Cool.
I wish you the best.
Hey, why don't you fuck yourself?
Yeah, I've seen that before. Someone says that to me often. Hey, buddy, go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
Suck your own dick. Oh, I'll write you a check for the extra sip I took. Is that okay? Stingy old fucking piece of shit.
You're the one that brought
Just called him a stingy old fucking piece of shit.
If he was stingy, he wouldn't be letting you and your douchey friends mooch off of him.
Yeah.
it up.
You did. You said don't treat my wife. It's mine.
What's wrong with that? I mean, I would have said the same thing. Usually my wife and I tend to like different types of alcohol, and she drinks this particular kind of wine that I'm just like, I really have no interest in it, you know. But then I've got my particular bourbon that I'm happy with, and I'm like, yeah, don't mess with the bourbon. That's mine. She was like, well, don't drink my sparkling wine. I was like, okay. It's just an easy, but yeah. Oh, I took a sip, and I guess he lost his shit on her, and then now she's like being an ass. I can't turn it up any louder. I really can't. Well, I can get it all the way up here.
Didn't say that.
Oh, you didn't?
I said I didn't think you were looking for anymore.
Rewind.
So annoying.
Probably defended me pretty good in front of your Rocky and your pop and your mom. I've tried so fucking hard with you. I've tried so hard.
Hey, if you ever run this shit, fucking something you never know. Oh, to God. Jack's stepfather teaches him more about being a man than your fucking left nut.
That's cold. Wow. That's just cold.
Hey, that's good. You gave me some shit about my kids, just like in London that you desired. Never again. Stay away.
Keep my kids' names
You
out
don't
of your
exist.
MFN mouth.
Yeah.
You will not be getting my words.
Mr. Depp, could you please just
Wow. This just sounds like one of those bitter back and forth, like divorce already happened. They just hate each other like with a passion. She sounds completely trash too. So
describe to the jury what they just heard in that audio recording?
I don't know when. I don't know when that, if there's a date on that, but clearly there was some animosity and another clash, and Miss Heard once again felt it necessary to bring my kids, my son into that argument and say that she hopes that my son's stepfather can teach him how to be a man, since I couldn't.
damn.
And I believe
Such
she
a
said
bitch.
something about,
Yep.
I'm sorry, Johnny's dragging, so I'm gonna
Yeah.
play.
And the stepfather then would be.
I doubled it.
my-
I doubled
believe
it,
the
the speed.
term was left nut.
I doubled the speed on it. Oh, are you playing some more? So bad.
I'm doing the tutorial again.
Yeah, it'll help. You're gonna be like kicking everybody's ass all over the place.
The AI was like freaking super powers.
Yeah, but they were also easy to fight.
Yeah.
How often did Miss Heard bring your children into your arguments?
Too often.
And at the end of your relationship, how was Miss Heard's relationship with your children?
Non-existent. My children, my kids are far more intelligent than I am, and they broke. They wouldn't be around Ms. Heard any. They refused to be around her anymore. They didn't like the way she treated me, which was written in a very elegant letter by my daughter, actually, to Ms. Heard. I don't know if that's in evidence, but I remember my daughter sent a text to Ms. Heard.
Objection, Your Honor. Just hearsay. It's one thing for the witness to tell his story. It's not
Oh, this is.
We can move
I
on.
remember this.
Sorry, I read the email.
Yeah, I understand. Next question.
Uh-huh.
When did you learn that Miss Heard had filed for divorce?
Well, it was
I think they actually get this email in at some point in time. It's
During the trial?
yeah. If I'm not mistaken, they get that particular email in because it is basically Amber telling her daughter to be a slut. If I'm not mistaken, I think that's what it does.
let's see, Betty Sue was the 20th. That night I spoke to her about the divorce. 21st was the
Yes, Sage, and masculine
kicker.
like that
I
is
believe it was
awful.
on the 23rd, and I had already left town for New York to prepare for the tour.
Did Miss Heard know that you were out of town at that time?
I don't know.
When did you learn that Miss Heard had made domestic abuse allegations against you?
The 27th of May, which is in fact my daughter's birthday. I
No, she's a killer.
saw that
She's
she
a
had
killer.
gone to a
Just in general.
court. It was, I don't know, some court, and there were paparazzi everywhere, and her and a brown mark on her face. And it was also happened to be the day that Charlie and Alice in Wonderland 2, Through the Looking Glass was opening, and that's the day that she chose to get go to the courthouse and get a TRO, temporary restraining order against me. But I was in Europe already at that point.
Mr. Depp, I'd like to show you what's been marked as Plaintiff's Exhibit 487. And just for the record, this is a very long document, and we will be showing pages
Nice.
470, or excuse me.
You saw that?
Yeah.
Through 494.
There's no objection to the document 487? Okay. I see. Are you entering this in evidence now, or are you just showing it?
I can give them an opportunity and go through it with Mr. Depp, if that's okay. Mr. Depp, do you recognize any of these text messages that are on the screen in front of you?
I already knocked them out.
Yep. That's pretty awesome. Pick him up and throw him.
Okay.
Vague memory of these.
And
No,
what were
you
the
got to throw him
communications-
farther than that.
Looks like myself.
can
in
do-
I want to see you
Me.
really throw him practice on it.
in the green.
How do you
And
throw 'em
Ms. Heard's
further?
in the blue.
So you got to pick him up and
do the
then go.
communications reflect that Ms. Heard
Like-
understands that you're in New York?
Throw your A or
What is the date
whatever
of
it
your
is.
text messages here on this page?
Maybe do a running throw or something.
23rd of
Because you
May,
remember you got to get those guys out the
2016.
window.
And hers are the 24th of May, 2016.
And based off of these communications, does this refresh your recollection that Ms. Heard?
That's one of the problems I was having yesterday. Like, the thread wasn't strong enough.
In her text,
That's what I was saying. Maybe give it a try.
When do you leave?
Go in that room right back there. You can go through those double
It was
doors.
clear that I was
You can?
Yeah.
leaving right away, but I'm not sure that I wasn't already, because I wasn't in New York City. We weren't playing New York City. We
No,
were
grab him.
playing,
Grab him.
we were rehearsing in
Take him in there.
like a casino, a big
Sorry.
casino. And
I'm
that
all
was where we did
interrupting our
first,
stream.
Show first show to practice for the tour, the European tour.
So,
So I
you
don't know
break
if
the
I was
glass.
either
Oh, nice.
leaving from New York.
Go in
but I
there.
don't think
Yeah.
I was already there because
Explore a
New
little
York
bit.
City,
Go get a hammer or something.
There's nothing
we
in there.
weren't,
It's just that.
I don't recall that we were
No, there's double
playing New York
doors.
City. So maybe I was
Oh, there's double
suggesting going
doors. Same
there.
ones. Sorry.
Mhm.
Could we please turn to page 494? And Mr. Depp, do you see the text message from Miss Heard on May 24th, 2016 at
Grab a
6:33?
flower pot. Throw it.
These are so
Yes, I do.
good.
Yes, I do.
They're like little
Oh.
watermelon gummies.
Do you
Nice.
understand what Miss Heard is referring to in this
They're
text
from
message?
Germany.
Is it all right if I just take a quick glance?
Please do.
Thank you.
Looks like he's about to break his back.
The flower pot's too heavy.
Sure.
You suck. Stupid.
Mhm.
I remember, yes. I recall this.
And what do you recall about this?
Oh.
That it made no sense to me.
It-
It just didn't make any sense to me, especially about, well, as long as you don't file, nobody will know. It just didn't, again, I'm not all that familiar with these types of things, but if it's two people in a relationship and the relationship is ending, in any case, the outcome is divorce. So
Yeah.
I didn't
There
understand
you
these
go.
explanations of this
Go
can
do
happen
some
or it cannot happen,
smackdown.
and I only did this
How do you
because my
smack 'em?
lawyers said to, and
Hey, just like you're throwing.
it just didn't make any sense to me, and it looked like she was kind of grabbing at straws,
Oh,
trying to
they're
figure out
pounding your
damn.
ass.
in fact, to do.
Mr. Depp, I'd like to just ask you about a couple statements Ms. Heard makes in this text message. She first says, just to confirm that the cover letter is completely private. And
Like
has
you're
nothing to do with any
punching.
public
That's
purpose."
what it is. Like
See
you're
that?
punching.
The first sentence in the text message.
Yes, I do.
Do you know what cover letter Ms. Heard is referring to?
Yeah.
No, I don't.
And then she says, and only included the domestic violence / restraining order stuff because I
Keep
called
it
the lawyer
with you as
Uh-huh.
long as you
and
can.
I didn't know what to do or why that happened.
So
and was
drop
scared."
the shovel,
see that?
pick up one of their
Yes.
Do you know what Ms.
bodies,
Heard is referring to? when
throw
she
it on
said
the
that?
sensor, pick up the shovel
And
again.
then dropping down to the bottom, it says 2 lines up, I thought you filed. Do you see that?
Yes.
And do you have any
God damn
understanding
it.
as to why Ms.
Fat
Heard thought you
hippo.
had already filed?
No. I had on the night of the 20th was when I told her on the phone that I was going to file for divorce, and in the way that I had explained it.
Run, run,
To
run.
keep everything nice and calm and even.
Jump.
But on the 23rd,
God damn
she
it.
filed,
Climb.
and so I hadn't had a chance to
Run.
file.
Jump.
Dang it.
Your Honor, I would move Plaintiff's Exhibit 487, specifically the portions from page 492 to 494. in the
Run,
evidence.
run.
So you just want page 492 to 494? in
Yes, Your Honor.
evidence?
It's
Climb,
a
climb,
100-page document, so
Just page 4. Well, are you going to ever put more of 487 in? I guess is the question.
I believe so, Your
So
Honor.
this is 487A.
Certainly, that would make sense.
Okay, so 487.
I wonder if I can beat that thing up with the
492,
shovel.
objection to the
No,
conditions.
you
Okay,
can't.
all right,
I
those
tried.
issues are in evidence.
lame.
Yeah.
Right, 490 that
I
makes
dropped
okay.
one of those boxes
That's
down in
okay.
the little hole.
Mhm.
And could that please be published to the jury?
I'm gonna throw all of them in there.
Nice.
Mr. Depp, Ms. Heard did end up seeking a temporary restraining order against you, correct?
Yes,
Yep.
you did.
And what, I believe you already said this, but could you just remind the jury, what date was that?
27th of May.
Oh, I could
And
just
where
do
were you
this.
when you learned
Bring
that
them
Ms.
all
Heard
over
had,
here and then open it.
actually filed
Yeah,
a
there you
temporary
go.
restraining order against you.
I don't recall if we had left for Europe as yet.
Hey, David.
Follow the
Dave,
Vampires for the tour.
how's it going?
So I was
I'm
either
not sure down there.
in New York State
From the
rehearsing
60s.
and
Nice.
preparing to go to Europe, or I was already in Europe. I'd have to check the the tour dates.
Did you find out on the 27th or shortly thereafter?
No, I found out on the 27th. It was everywhere.
What do you mean when you say it was everywhere?
It was
One of those boxes may not make it.
it was multiplying.
Yeah, the one on the left.
Multiplying and multiplying throughout.
Then you never know. Might.
Throughout,
I just
social media
push it
throughout,
in, go down with it.
so-called sort of straight media or whatever. And I was taken aback a bit.
If we could take this down and please pull.
Oh,
up
there's a
Plaintiff's
shovel.
Exhibit 411.
Go grab it.
I can't move.
Mr. Depp, is this some of the media coverage that you were referring to?
Many things of this nature, yes. Many.
And do you recall actually seeing this specific article?
You're
I
down.
don't remember.
The count,
seeing
he's
this
going to shoot you.
article, but there were already plenty.
Son of a-
and certainly
Yep, gotcha.
What
more
is
than
that?
I'm
Nothing you can do about it.
happy to go through. I think once you read one or two of them, the general idea is I mean, the point has been made.
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me.
Your Honor, I'd move Plaintiff's Exhibit 411 into evidence.
Any objection? All right, 411.
Could we please take this down and pull up Plaintiff's Exhibit 414?
Yeah, take it down. Take it down. So all you people that are watching this, you need to be downloading this game so you can
Do you recognize
join
this
in with
article at
us.
I
Mhm.
remember. Yeah, I don't know if it was this one in particular, but I do remember seeing all the various reasons behind her reasons behind.
Did you
her
send an invite to MG?
needing to get a temporary
I put it in the group chat.
a TRO against me, which they just started to metastasize into these. There were abuse allegations, and there was alcohol, and there was drugs and violence, and it just it was already right then and there before my eyes spinning out of control, and there was not a word that I could say.
Your Honor, I would move Plaintiff's Exhibit 414 into evidence.
Any objection? All right, 414 evidence.
And if we could take this down now, please, and put up Plaintiff's Exhibit 409.
The game that's going right behind it is, what is that called again? It's
Party animals.
Party Animals, yes. Oh, so did you see the one that someone did on Twitter? Oh, I'll show it here to you in a bit.
And Your Honor, if I could move Plaintiff's Exhibit 409 into evidence as well.
Any objection with 409? All right, 409 evidence. Thank you.
Mr. Depp, do you recall seeing this People magazine article?
Did I just derail our stream because I'm
When did you see it?
gaming?
No.
Right when it was released, right when it came out.
Did you speak to anyone about this article?
Yes, I did.
Who did you speak to?
Mostly friends and my sister Christy, mostly friends, and certainly the band,
Audra, my dog stepped on a bee.
and my kids. I had to alert them that
Got to
might
do
be
the
slightly
constipation
ugly things coming out. That
face when
that
she
were
says it.
most
My
assuredly
dog
going to
stepped
put
on a
me
bee.
Mm-hmm.
in the position of
Yeah, Audra.
some violent, drug-addled alcoholic,
MLS raid. Hey, what's up, MLS peoples?
Hey, MLS raid.
reprobate.
Well,
And I wanted
I guess I should
to
give it
warn
to
them
him.
before they were approached
What?
with the People magazine cover in school by other kids. You know. I wanted to be able to explain to them that this was going to be visible and it's going to be everywhere. And I apologize to them.
The hammerhead shark's name is Suck Me Daddy.
Ever been physically abusing?
Is
someone?
it really?
No.
How would you describe the impact of these allegations at the time they were made? And Arnold, if you could please take this down.
I felt ill. I felt sick. I mean, sick in the sense that, but there was no truth in it. There was no truth in it whatsoever. And the fact that it was coming down
the hell?
so hard and so quickly, and how it gained momentum around the world. And then you notice people looking at you differently. And then you notice calls start coming from agents and producers and that sort of thing. This was before, in fact, the Me Too movement had
All right, because people don't know, I'll pull it up here. Give me just a second. Should tab instead. Nope, damn it. Should tab instead. Damn it. Why is it not showing up? There we go. All right. Show this tab instead. This is hilarious.
Oh, this is different. They're like playing soccer.
You watching?
Party animals IRL.
I'm sorry, I had to do it. I had to do that.
That was too good.
Oh, well, somebody had to. I mean, trying to break it up a little bit. Come on, you love it. You love it. You do. You love it. Present, share screen.
I don't like this one.
Oh, that one. Oh, did you get in a different one?
I did a quick match and it took me to like the soccer game.
Oh, that could have been fun.
come around. This was a while before that, so
Hey, all you
I couldn't have
LMS,
expected the Me Too movement to
MLS
happen, but
folks, it's good to see you.
once that happened, then it just went into skyrocket mode. So you're showered with you're
I know
running
he was
between
at his office.
drops of lava. You're trying to run between raindrops that kill you and destroy you.
Make sure you guys hit that like button. Just give it a thumbs
I
up,
was
whether
very
you're
confused.
over
I was
here on
very hurt.
mine or you're over there on Jess's. Give it a.
As I said before, when you're in a relationship and you do give your truth to
Or just send nudes.
intimate truths
That too.
to that person that you're with,
That works.
and then they start to use all that information and stretch it out into something that is
Something. I haven't
completely
figured it
shocking,
out.
because as I said, it just didn't happen, and so I felt like it was incredibly cruel and treachery. I felt it was treachery. It was.
Wait, what?
Might be her
I
hair.
don't know if she wanted me to just be erased or drop dead or just let me stick around and allow her to ruin my life for a while and go out of her way to shame me and hurt my kids and hurt people who I've known for many, many years. No, it was. I mean, to say that it was unfair is about the largest understatement that it's actually the smallest.
no.
I mean, it controlled my every waking second from the moment that I woke up until the moment that I dropped. Even on the road playing shows, you go out and you play for an hour and a half or 2 hours, and you do your best to get through that. And I can remember getting off of finishing the show, getting on the bus with the other band members, and just going to the back of the bus and just you had to get it out. So I just sat back in the back of the bus and cried and hid it from people.
Mr. Depp, did you ever discuss Ms. Heard's domestic abuse allegations with any producers or directors in the movie industry?
Only if they fell into the category of friends. For example, Tim.
Yes,
Tim
David.
Burton
Every single one of
was,
them made it. All of your folks made it over here. So glad for that. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much for the raid. You're awesome.
It is really appreciated. We've been hard at work over here, keeping things real.
one of my dearest friends. And
Looks a little bit like David without a red nose.
known him since we made Edward Scissorhands together in 1990. We've been very, very, very close friends ever since then. Yeah, just friends, and then of course, as we were on the road, the fellas in the band, Alice Cooper is the singer of the Vampires, who's a dear friend, and Joe Perry from Aerosmith is in the band, and he's also
Might be the red nose and the pearls. Not quite your style.
Members are
close.
Yeah, very close friends, and I was bereft of any. You just don't know what to say anymore.
I'm going to send Dave an invite.
I tried
You
not to
should.
talk about it very much at all.
He can't make any excuses. He's not in bed
When
yet,
did-
clearly.
When was the
Yes,
divorce
he
final?
does.
Yes.
The divorce was final
Of course.
January
That's what it is.
2017.
Pearl necklace,
on
something
Friday the
different.
13th.
Something she's
And
never taken.
How were your divorce proceedings resolved ultimately?
Ladies like her don't take pearl necklaces.
My team of lawyers, which include
I have all the
two
excuses.
entertainment lawyers.
No, you don't. Check your Discord DMs and get over here.
Yeah.
And two more attorneys who were on Blair Burke and someone else. I wanted to, for lack of a better word, I wanted to fight it. I wanted to fight it because there wasn't an ounce, not a grain, not a molecule of truth to it. So I wanted to fight it.
All right.
He was speaking about what he wanted to do in the context of the divorce.
I think the next one was they said, I don't know.
Okay.
You can do your next question.
Sure, certainly. Did you pay Ms. Heard any money in connection with your divorce?
Yes.
Yes.
And how much was that?
Her settlement, she wanted $7
Too much.
million.
Yeah.
I believe that was the
She
settlement.
didn't deserve it.
Yes, $7 million.
And was there a joint statement that you and Ms. Heard released?
Yes, that's what I was getting.
Before I was so rudely
The
interrupted.
advice that I was given was to not to fight.
Objection, Your Honor. Hearsay.
I'll sustain the objection. Next question.
Who wrote the joint statement?
No idea. Lawyers.
Did you approve the joint statement before it was issued?
I'll put it this way, I wasn't given much of a choice.
Could we please pull up Plaintiff's Exhibit 408?
You paid the bitch to go away. That's what happened.
And Mr. Depp, do you see this second paragraph from the bottom of this page? Is that the joint statement that you and Ms. Heard released together?
That's the joint statement that was released. Yes.
And could you please read that joint statement for the jury?
Our relationship was intensely passionate and at times volatile, but always bound by love. Neither party has made false accusations for financial gain. There was
Okay.
never any intent of physical or emotional harm.
Damn.
Amber wishes the best for Johnny in the future. Amber will be donating financial proceeds from the divorce to a charity.
What happened after this joint statement was issued, Mr. Depp?
What happened after that?
That's why we're here.
I suppose, you know, the next move was to start making payments to Ms. Heard. There were scheduled payments. And then at a certain point, Ms. Heard had made statements to the press saying that the $7 million was going to be, the $7 million was the settlement, and that $7 million was going to be split up between two charities. One was the ACLU, and the other was the Children's Hospital of Los Angeles, which, in fact, was a breach of the agreement. Neither one of us were supposed to speak about details.
Oh, yeah.
Anything of that nature. So
I win.
Oh, hello.
You do.
I win.
Oh, is there a
Brother.
bet whether I'd show up? You got me for, I
No.
got 5 minutes.
10
That's
minutes.
fine.
That's fine. Brother, how are you doing today?
I am doing good. I am doing good. You know, it was funny. I was thinking about this case yesterday. I was talking to Runkle, and I said, you know, I pledged $500 towards his tool mark competition that he's going to put out there, or challenge rather. I said I'm not going to donate, but I'll pledge 500 towards that, and we'll see. We'll see if it counts the same. Where are we, by the way, in this case?
We're finishing up on Johnny's testimony and as soon as today ends, I believe they go into cross-examination the next day.
I thought he was okay. So it was his sister, and then Isaac, and then it was him, right? He was like called early in the case.
Well, it was his sister, Isaac. Then there were a couple of video people, and there was a couple of in-person people. We've already gone through all of those.
I didn't think it was day 6 that he'd be on the stand. I thought it was like day 3 or something.
No, it's like day 6, and this goes for 24, 25 days or something like that.
I feel that on a spiritual level, David. I usually eat popsicles on stream too.
I'm getting slightly turned on. Just don't bite the tip. Just don't bite the
Too
tip.
late. Already happened. I forgot how long this trial was. 25 days.
26 days, 27 days, something like that. It's in the 20s. It's a long freaking trial. Yeah.
I'm just glad I wasn't streaming it. I know everyone, a lot of people, you know, it sort of launched their careers or whatever on YouTube, but to sit through that long of a trial.
Yeah, and I mean,
it's horrible.
And it set a lot of people off in like really weird directions. I mean, I talked about this today whenever I was doing my anniversary stream. I've been streaming for like a year now, David.
All right.
Yeah. And so it was, you know, because there was this group having issues, you know, this whole law tube thing, because they wanted to put a name on it. And you remember how all that shit went down. I mean,
oh yeah, I was watching. I just wasn't involved with it.
Exactly. And it was that stuff that actually got me more interested in actually doing streams. Because I just didn't, and I had no idea what at that time what he was talking about until you start doing this stuff and you see all the weird stuff going on. And you're just like, ooh, it can get weird in this space. Like Fifi's get hurt. They don't realize, you know, these trial streams, they're not big money makers. You know, they're, if you want to make good stuff, definitely not doing the trial stuff, you know.
Yeah, the trial streaming for 8 hours a day, multiple days, doesn't, I mean, it'll get you some new people, but again, it's it's not where the money's made. That's for sure. It's
Right.
all the
Yeah.
other stuff that we do.
Exactly. And that was Nick Recada's point. Is like, you're going to see, you'll see it after all these trial streams go away. All of these people that are used to having, whenever this trial of the century goes away, all these people that are used to having, 22,000, 70,000 people watching them all at once, that goes away. It's gone. And you're streaming for what we're streaming for, 11 people right now. Some people do, 2,000, depending on the size of their channel. But it doesn't hit those levels that it did before. And so stop relying on that and actually put out good content, because that stuff goes away really quick. And,
I was just talking about this with Jamie today too. I said, there's some people out there where the streamer is the content, and it doesn't matter what they stream; they're the content.
Right.
But that I don't think is ever going to be me. I like to be able to present different, whatever it is, stories or situations or cases. That's the content. I'm just simply the presenter. I'm not the content.
right.
And I could never be the content because that would be really annoying.
Yeah.
But if you, the individual, are not the content, then you actually have to have something that's worthwhile watching.
Exactly. And that was what the problem was with a lot of that stuff. It was these people were becoming the content. They were taking control of the situation and thinking that they were running the show, telling other people how they were going to run their show.
Yeah.
And it's just like, yeah, that's not healthy for anybody, because now you're
Well, that's why I
beholden to
don't mind
somebody else.
splitting up the trials. Like Baker and I have been tag team in this trial, and there's no advantage to streaming the entire trial the whole way
Right.
through, all the way through, like I thought there was when we started, unless you're really interested in the trial and the outcome. But I like these shorter trials. Sitting through 25 days of a trial is just horrible. I did Ronald Rubberroot, the Border Patrol murder case. That was 3 weeks of trial, and then there was going to be another 3 weeks for the death penalty phase.
Oh,
And
geez.
I'm like, I'm out. I'm done. I can't do this anymore. And then I passed it off to Baker, and then he did it for like 3 days or something. He was like, all right, nope, I'm done. It was just so boring.
Yeah. And some trials are, all of the attorneys tend to be, and not saying all of them, but in general, the attorneys tend to be looking for that one that's going to be like this Depp trial was. They're looking for that lightning in a bucket that, hey, I will spend 8 weeks if it turns out, $500,000, $250,000. That's time well spent. I mean,
You're not going to get that.
no, but Depp did for a lot of these folks. That was the numbers
yeah,
that they
for
were
sure.
seeing.
But yeah, I would say, but like, don't plan on it. Is kind of my idea.
Right.
My thoughts.
Well, but they weren't planning on it. But once they saw that big paycheck, that big amount of money come in, they were just like, holy crap, I can do this all the damn time. And then they're sitting there grinding at it. They're like, how come nobody's coming and watching me? It's got to be that, somebody else is doing something better or something. And it's like, no, it just,
You have to have good commentary too while you're doing it. Like,
right.
Yeah.
You can't just sit here and watch it, like turn it into a watch party. Like, you have to make commentary.
Yeah.
That's what I try to do. Well, that's me creating the content out of the raw material that is the trial stream.
Right.
Yeah.
But
like
it's not,
before you
again, I
stopped
don't.
by, I was playing party animals with
Yeah.
it like in my background.
Exactly.
I'm glad I can help shape this content. I was going to do a stream tonight. I was going to do like a grift stream for my Crumbly cams, but I'm just too tired. And I wanted to spend some time with the wife because I haven't really spent much time with her since I've been doing these Caitlin Armstrong things late. Like last night, we went till, I don't even remember, like 11:30 or midnight or something because we had Gosney and Runkle on. And so I figured, well, I'll hang with the wife tonight.
Yeah.
But I wanted to pop on here for a minute and say hi to you all.
Well, we appreciate it because you're always a voice in the wild that comes in and throws like that little bit of salt on the wound whenever you're saying something. You're going, hey, well, blah 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 blah. It's just like, well, if you looked at it this way, it's like, damn it, why do you got to do this to us?
I'm naturally contrarian. I noticed that at a young age, and I've tried to make the best of it as I could. Was Zach's trial last November, right, Anderson? No, it was March, and I'm going to do a rewatch on the 1 year anniversary.
Oh, yeah, and that's sort of what we're doing with this one. It's like that 1 year anniversary, and of all of the weird stuff that came out of this, because like today I was talking about all of the communities, and keeping our space drama free, because it's not that the space stays drama free, it's just that you stay drama free out of it. That is the important part. Because as soon as you start getting involved in the weird little drama crap that happens around communities, then you're sucked into taking someone's side, and somebody's going to be hurt. And just,
you know what came out of this case? What I just put in the chat. $29,000 was her gross take home on her last movie, most recent movie. That's what came out of this. $29,000. That's amazing.
That was the entire movie. That didn't even pay her salary.
No, it didn't cover the food. It didn't cover craft services for the movie shoot. It covered nothing.
No, it didn't cover anything. It definitely not the food. I've seen how much money they spent on sets. It's insane.
So Stray says, old school law tubers just don't hold my attention. Yes, it's the new up and comers, but Jess isn't part of law tube.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing. Neither Jess or I are part of law tube. We're not associated.
I'm not
with that.
either.
I don't want to be part of law tube.
I don't know what law tube is.
With all their drama, I'm like, nope.
Well, it's not law tube. It's just community in general. Jess and I are not part of a community. We hang out with everybody.
We just do whatever the hell we feel like doing.
Exactly.
That's the way to do it.
Because I've gotten this kind of advice before. It's like, well, you shouldn't be doing game streams on your channel. If you're going to be covering, you need to have one particular format that everybody's used to. I'm like, screw that.
I've got 2 game streams. One was only like a few minutes because I was testing Streamlabs. By the way, how'd you get Streamlabs in your chat? We need to have we need to have a conversation about your product. Sure.
She's good at this stuff. She really is.
Because I use Streamlabs for my gaming streams.
She has Pro.
Yeah, so it's like I think $150 a year.
Ooh.
It comes with that. It comes with like the little cloud bot thingy that you can set up. Pretty cool.
Oh, I like that. I have Streamlabs, but I don't have that account. But my Griff stream was literally going to be me playing Super Mario World till either I raised the money I wanted or I beat the game. And I set it up through Streamlabs so I could do that. And so I did a little test stream. I did a test stream a couple weeks ago, and then I did a test stream last night just to make sure everything was working right. And I was ready to go, but I didn't want to sit in the treehouse all night.
I think you can still do it. I'm not sure because you still have access to like the Streamlabs dashboard on the Streamlabs website. I think.
Oh, so Dave,
sure.
we'll
have a little private meetup and talk about it though.
All right, sounds good.
You see this right here?
Yeah, the printer head. That looks awesome.
Yeah, I've been assembling it. I still have to put some tubes in it and stuff like that. But in all aspects, outside of me having to pull this motor back out and put a washer on the back side of it, everything's pretty much done on this. And pretty soon I'll be able to do the multicolor
head right over here. Yeah, I got my head, the mock-up that you made and sent sitting right over here. It's
Yep.
too far out of my reach and I'm not getting up.
No,
But
that's fine.
I'm excited for the big print. That's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, that's good. That probably won't happen until next year because, man, I did not realize
fine.
how busy the holidays get. Oh my God, it gets insane. But if
I,
I run into some time,
Well, I've been researching the paint, so don't worry about it. I still haven't figured out what the paint I'm going to be using on it is. So
I
we're good.
still want to do the multicolor on it though, because I think that's going to turn out really well. In the overall look of it, because it's going to require you just to basically do a little bit more, just the kind of touch up that you would need to do. And I want to do a small version of the head with the flesh, the soft flesh, and see if it'll actually bond to the hard stuff. If it does, that's going to be crazy because then you'll have like a squishy head.
That could be cool.
Yeah.
Like it's be textured. That'd be very cool.
Yeah.
Stray, am I ready for my Lego stream? Yeah, it's gonna be a good time. And so there's a couple of things that are going to come out of this next Lego stream. One, Valhalla and I are going head to head because we're building the same set. And two, Ricada should be hot. So that's gonna be awesome.
That will be awesome. That will be very awesome.
A 3-way with Ricada for 4 hours.
Nothing,
Oh yeah, he's so fun to hang out with.
Yeah.
I've been on the stream a couple of times. One where it was just him and I, and that was kind of cool, but we were watching a trial, so there wasn't much talking. And another one where there was Jeff and someone else was on. Can't remember. Anyways, but yeah, no, it's cool to hang out with him.
Yeah. Well,
I straight up told him the other night because I was talking to him. I straight up told him, I was like, yeah, I'm not coming on a stream with you on your channel ever again. He's like, I
Yeah.
don't blame you.
Well, to be a woman to go on his stream is different than to be an attorney or a guy going on his stream, right?
Yeah.
Even if you're a female attorney, there's certain expectations of his chat, and it's just is what it is. Well, at one point during the business trial, he left. It was just me, and he was like, "All right, entertain the chat," and I was like, I couldn't remember. Like I was telling him something. I was telling him about some crazy defense cases I had, and the chat was just like throwing it right back at me. They're vicious over there. I can't imagine how it would be to be a woman in that
They're
scene.
retarded.
well, here's the thing. Don't read the chat.
Well, because I had all of my people in there. You know, Jamie was in there and Farrell was in there, so I was trying to spot them and read their stuff.
I mean, this is always
I go
the biggest.
I go in his
like,
chat to banter with people.
Yeah.
And I give them the same energy that they give me. I give it back. I've actually gained a lot of subscribers from doing that.
Yeah.
It's funny. So after I went on Ricada and I went on Logic, Good Logic, then I would bounce in their chats every once in a while. And when I did, they'd send me a link. But usually I'm lying in bed and like I'm half asleep and I'm just sort of like texting or something. Like I don't want to get out of bed and get dressed and then go to my studio, wherever it was, out in the shop or the treehouse, whatever. And so I stopped chatting so that they wouldn't send me a link. Just not because I need to like prepare for it mentally to be up that late and stream. Not because I didn't want to go on their show. It was just like if I'm like, and then there's been a few times where I've thought, all right, I'm going to stay up late and I'm going to chat and do things like that. Maybe I'll get pulled up on stream. And then I didn't like the conversation, or they had like a panel of people and it wasn't a topic I was familiar with or something. So I was like, I'm going to stay out of it. But I stayed up for this. So what should I do? Yeah, it's weird. It's fun though.
And there is that fine line that you always have to hit doing these things, where you're just like, am I too exhausted to do this stream where I'm not going to be able to pay any attention? Or can I like fall into the groove because I know the people that I'm going to be streaming with?
Well, that was when I went on with Ricada and Vices, and I can't remember who else was on with us. But I was like, all right, so I like this group. They have an interesting conversation. I'll jump on. Maybe it was Runkle. And but I was like falling asleep, not because the conversation was, but I was just so exhausted from work and everything and it was 3 a.m. That didn't help.
Oh, geez.
But yeah, so I got to like mentally prepare to stay up that late and stream. And today I'm not there mentally, so I'm not going to stream tonight.
No, that's and that's you have to be careful with that kind of stuff, because if you're not there mentally coming in and doing a stream, I've actually kicked out my my Disturb series, the cult series, because I think I'm going to narrow those down maybe to once a month, just because they are very taxing, and they're not pleasant. There's nothing happy or shiny about them whatsoever. So it doesn't, it takes a lot out of me to be able to do one of those. But I've replaced them with, doing some more interesting things. And I think it gives good variety.
Yeah, I see Chris Mullen in the chat. I haven't seen you in a little bit.
Awesome. Yeah, and this is the thing that a lot of creators see the way that some of these creators talk about women or talk about people in general. You have to remember that they're speaking generalities, and
it's not like a personal attack on anybody.
No.
Well, I mean, I could talk in generalities about the state of everyone that's younger than me. I don't get it. And, we can lump them all into categories and say how horrible they are. Then
But you'll still have
few
people
shining lights.
message you and be like, "Are you talking about me, Dave?" Like, no.
No.
I'm never talking about
talk
anyone
about
specific.
you. I'll call you out by your name. Don't worry.
I was going to say, if I want to talk about you, I'll call you out specifically. But I don't talk bad about people specifically, because I nothing most people. And the ones I like, I don't talk bad about.
And early on, I called out Megan Fox on something, and it wasn't last week, over the weekend with Nick Starro, and I can be on the stream with her, and I don't have to sit there and be an ass to her. It's like, it was something that I noticed. I called it out, and I said my piece, and that doesn't mean that I have some sort of angst or animosity towards her, because I can sit there on a stream and I don't have to sit there and like rub her nose in whatever it is the issue was at that particular point in time. It's just like, I'm over it. I said my piece, and she's doing awesome work. And I said that whenever I did the stream about her. Like I said, I don't even remember what it was. I was like, she's an awesome writer, and she is very intelligent, but I think she's got this particular thing wrong. And
yeah, and and there's nothing wrong with that. Like on Laid Back News last Friday, Steve Gosney was on, and he was talking about First Amendment rights for associations and companies and stuff. And I had to push back on him because I don't think he's right in his opinion. And I said, I'm just going to push back on you, and I'm going to say we have the right to associate, and that means that we can organize, pool our money, lobby, congressmen and things like that, and that is a fundamental right that we have. And so, but there's a way you can push back on people and not be an asshole about it. Plus, I love receiving I need to finish that thought because that's going to get clipped. I love receiving criticism in like the all kinds of criticism. I love trolls in my chat. I absolutely love trolls in my chat. They are the best thing. I was streaming Turtle Boy, and there was this guy Kyle in my chat. And he said something, and I pulled his chat up, and I said, "You're wrong, in my opinion, and this is why." And then he chatted, "I'm not going to take advice from a homeless internet attorney," or something like that. It was so awesome. I'm going to find him. And I'm going to invite him to my next Turtle Boy stream, because it was absolutely awesome. I love people trolling me. I love people like digging at me or trash talking me. I don't know why. I absolutely love it. And Stray actually got modded after that stream because she was hilarious in the chat as well, going at some of these people. But yeah, that was great.
Well, and you can do things respectfully in any sort of aspect, and there's a way that you can get your point across without being a complete ass to people. And I think that you're one of the few that's able to do that. Because some people, they come across and they're just like, They just go balls to the wall. That's what I do. If something's really on my mind and something's bothering me, I just want to unleash the fists of fury, and say my piece and then move on, and I'm ready to go. But it has to be something that really bugs the shit out of me.
I feel like I can say some things and get away with them without getting in trouble. Murph's said something like, I'm the meanest nice guy on YouTube or something like that. I don't know. I could say things that are kind of mean, but I get away with it.
I'm the meanest mean person. I'm mean. I don't at my age, I stopped giving up the filter where yeah.
All right, I'm gonna bounce out. I'm gonna spend some time with the wife. You guys enjoy the rest of your trial. I won't derail you anymore.
Bye.
You haven't derailed it because we'll probably be.
We have to head over to MG anyway.
Yeah, we'll be firing this thing over to MG here, and I've already got mine set up to send to him, and he'll be receiving all you fine folks. If you want to take us out, Jess, if he's up, we can just end this thing right here.
I've not. Let me check if he's on yet. I know he was on with Megan Fox.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, he's not live yet. Probably getting ready.
Yeah, more than likely. He's got to put his makeup on. That beard isn't real, and the only reason he wears that hat is because he has got this like tattoo on his forehead that tells how sexy he is. It says, I'm too sexy for my shirt. So you ladies, be careful of MG Law. Be mad at me. Because I love you.
It's not. Once upon a time, there was this person on my Discord server that was sending me like voice messages because I didn't respond fast enough. And they're like,
oh, shame on you.
So now it's become part of the lore and we make fun of him. Actually, here. I'm uploading the soundbite. This is a soundbite from one of his voice messages.
Sorry, I hurt you, okay?
That's literally how he talks. Were you able to hear that, or was that too low?
Yes. No, I mean it was quiet, but I heard it.
Oh.
I'm sorry, I hurt you, okay?
And
that's Shizzy's real voice. I know
the whole time.
Not
okay,
even.
MG's on. Ready, go.
I love you. You love me. Can I lick you where you pee? What?
I love a butter biscuit.